In this episode, we actually face the consequences of our actions when our DM decides that session 3 is not too early to kill off a member of the party. Keep on watching to find out who dies.
It's a coup, not just from a DM perspective, but also we have Jamie running the stream, so any calamities you can direct squarely to him. But also thank you, Jamie, for doing this. Today, and for a few more sessions only, I, Clued, have control of the DMC. Still, we are D&D Boyband, a group of friends that all like to play handsome and beautiful boys, because it ain't fantasy unless everyone is hot. This is an original D&D campaign set in our beloved Jamie's homebrew world, Lakai. Here, I have created my own little section of the world, which I will now force my friends to play through and try not to kill them. I'm here to give Jamie a break while he prepares for our campaign 2, 3, our big campaign starting very, very soon. And also so I can flirt with my friends on multiple characters at once. I am Dungeon Master Clued, and joining me tonight are No Direction. So let me introduce Jamie as Lucifer.
Hello.
Eski as Moddy.
Hello.
Erin as Bray.
Hey, what's up?
Luke as Ahim.
It's Saturday.
Yeah, what is that? It's Saturday. Sai as Osiris.
Hello.
And our new buddy Ben as Mercy.
Hey.
Do we have any announcements? I think our announcement is that it's Saturday, and that's kind of strange. And honestly, I think I speak for everyone when I say that D&D kind of just tells me what day of the week it is, so it not being a Wednesday/Tuesday right now is really throwing me off, and I'm really sad I have a few more days of work till the weekend. Damn, that sucks. Anyway, to kick off, brief recap, the gang of No Direction have come to the Dread Isles in search of vast wealth, on the behest of the summons of the General of the Dread Isles, General Montague, who has bid that they go into the Vault of Varsala, the Divine Vault, in fact, upon which, completion of which, they will be awarded with 10,000 gold each. You've arrived at the Dread Isles and found a city that is honestly quite pleasant. There's something wrong with it, however. You've not encountered too many things, really, to tell you what exactly that is, but you've been confined to the lower city only. You've met the General, who tested your worth, and otherwise seemed fairly pleasant, if perhaps a little lonely. You met the Wavecaller, an old druid, it seems, an orc woman, who looked twice, maybe, at Lucifer, who tried to indicate that maybe he had cottoned on somewhat to the fact that he did not think the party would ever be allowed to leave. You've been approached in the time that you've been here by one Vesper Chai, who absconded into your carriage on the way up to the General after a brief distraction, and told you guys that, yeah, you weren't leaving, and that she wanted to leave too, and that your only chance of doing so was by assassinating said druid, the Wavecaller. You've discussed this at length in your hotel for the evening in front of the barkeeper, discussing your regicide, discussing what you would do, and you've resolved on the fact that though you intend to enter the vault as planned on the General's orders, you also think you'll just go talk to Vesper again and see what she has to say. So, we zoom into you guys in the bar, still, resolving that you will talk to Vesper at midnight today at the Barge Wharf. We'll say it's maybe 10, 11, so it's getting to the time you think that you'll want to leave. You have a little bit of time to talk amongst yourselves, recap, refresh yourselves, and yeah, over to you. You're in the the bar, the lobby of a really expensive hotel, marble floors, everything's a little shiny. You have drinks kind of come in without you having to request them from the barkeep Seraph. It's nice and cozy. D&D Boyband, over to you.
DM, is this a hotel or an inn? Sorry.
Hotel. This is a full-on hotel with concierge, lobby, bellboys, meeting rooms, overly corporate meeting rooms.
How well lit is this building in general?
Well lit. Yeah, so it's evening, but everything's kind of lit in this rosy, warm tint. You've got like palm trees and stuff in the lobby and giant pots. It's one of them.
And would we say darkness or dim light is at all present in many rooms?
Not in this hotel. No, I mean it's yeah, pretty well lit for an interior.
Thank you.
So, haven't we just been talking about regicide and
Yes,
Well,
and
not
Seraph has
regicide, but
commented on
maybe-
it a
No.
couple of times.
No, we're talking about someone that wanted to not even commit regicide, what would it even count as?
Nobody
Killing-
wanted to do it.
Someone. We were discussing how stupid a plan it was and how we were going to go talk to them.
Leaning over the bar, Seraph maybe like slides 2 more drinks with the little fruity little umbrellas in the top down the bar towards Bray, towards Osiris, and says, "Well, so you said you were going to the Barge Wharf at midnight, yeah? If you're heading down there, it's probably 20-minute walk, 30-minute walk from here, so you've got a little bit of time. Can I help you with anything?" And just very casually leaning on the bar.
You seem to know your way around this place. I guess it's your home. Could you and he like slides a napkin across the counter. Could you draw some directions for us, please?
Oh, sure, no problem. Finds a little quill, starts sketching on the napkin. He does a little, okay, so obviously you're in Respite's Plaza, you're just going to follow the ascent downwards, points you down the seafront. Barge Wharf's at the southern end of the harbour. He kind of like draws you out a little map, and you feel like fairly confident. He leans in. Though, word of warning, your guardsman, Collar's been like sullenly sat in the corner of the bar at a table for 2 by himself.
You still here?
Oh yeah, he's not left you. Like, he's always been in your sights. He's not been like close enough to you think, to hear the conversation, but he's just
Wait,
really like dourly
know.
sat there.
But I thought that you said last time that he just like went off, like, because he didn't want to join in our book reading session.
No, he's been like distancing himself from you, but like as your guardsman, he's very much posted to you. So he's not been joining in your conversation. You don't think he could hear you, but he's very much been sat in the corner of the room looking grumpy. And Seraph kind of leans in and says, "He is posted to guard you. He will definitely try and follow you, so if you're going to try and sneak out, then I would maybe have a think about how you're going to do that. He's not the best tracker, but he might try."
Right, that's
Oh.
good to
Just
know.
bring him along.
Wonderfully helpful.
Oh yeah, that's what I do. I help people.
Dude, I have a important question. Is Seraph attractive?
Yeah, he's really attractive. Yeah, kind of fluffy white hair, really easy smile, these really pale, blue, almost violet eyes, slightly angelic looking. Like he's like really quite.
Would you describe
painterly.
him as beautiful? A beautiful man.
Yeah, beautiful adjacent, I think.
Excellent. Bray
Adjacent.
Bray flips over the napkin that he's just drawn the directions on, and then pushes it back to Seraph again. He's like, and your number as well.
My number? We don't.
Yeah.
You mean the number of my house?
Yeah.
It means your social security number.
Oh, we don't have those here. I can give you my you can have my address if you want it. Sure.
I'll
And he
stop
just
by
he
later.
writes the address of the hotel on the napkin.
Oh, I
He
got
slides it.
wrong
I feel like that
numbers.
was pretty
It says
predictable.
3 Respites Plaza, downtown Barcelona.
At least it wasn't just the address for a graveyard.
And he does look up and he says, "I mean, I do live here. So you always know where to find me.
Well, that's handy, I suppose. Yeah. So
I don't demand the front desk. I'm not a hard man to find."
good to know. And he takes the
As,
napkin and puts it in his pocket.
As
He puts a little kiss at the end of it. Anyway, yes, go on.
no, sorry, don't let me interrupt that. Keep going.
No, that was just an offhanded comment. Yeah,
We're done.
all good.
As Seraph, every time Seraph sort of slides over a drink over to Osiris is gonna very slyly just quickly slide it back over to Bray, who's sitting next to him. So like, if Bray is drinking, like the intention is that Osiris is just like sort of like putting a new glass in his hand when he's not
open.
looking.
Cool.
And
Yeah.
Are you
Bray is
knocking these
just
back,
drinking.
Bray?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Can I have a con save?
You may. Let me just
Oh no.
see what that's gonna be. Hey, I'm a barbarian. I'm a big boy. I got +3 Constitution. Okay, I rolled a
That never helped
13.
me. I was about to say that never helped me.
Yeah, you're okay for
Plus
now.
8 at some point.
Got the low rolls out down early. Yeah, you're okay. You maybe feel a little loose, but not, you're not drunk.
Cool. Sounds good.
And Seraph just kind of continues beaming at you all.
Is he just like stood right in front of us, or was he like at the other
He's
side of the bar?
he's behind the bar. Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? Like, is he just like stood there, like?
No. He's kind of like shoots you warm smiles whenever he drops a drink down, and there's a kind of gracious little nod. He's busying himself, cleaning glasses and what have you. And
How
There are a
expensive
few
are
other
drinks
people.
Here, out of curiosity, like
haven't paid for
down
them,
here
have
in the
we?
underworld. Like,
If you-
what's-
if you check the menu, yeah, they're really expensive. They're tourist plus in fancy hotel. But you were told that General Montague was paying for all of this. In fact, Seraph recommended that you just get loads because it was all paid for.
Oh. Last time we voted, it was about 50-50. What's the plan? Are we going to meet this person, which we've now shouted loudly about in this bar, to do the plans we don't think is great? Or are we here to do the job that we were paid for?
The consensus was we were all quite in favour of going for the original objective, but there was no harm, it was felt, in meeting the person that we are possibly meeting.
No harm. Oh, on to us for now, maybe. What do we hope to gain by meeting her?
Information.
Information is always useful.
Exactly.
Information keeps the world running, Seraph says with a grin.
Yeah, but information did not save Thomas.
Tomasz.
Thomas, I guess it's the same name.
Tomasz. I think
Tomas,
his name.
yes.
I think his name was Tomasz.
Tomas the potato, okay.
Very sad. Sorry,
No.
you were right talking about this, Lucifer. I know it hit you hard.
Rather, on his name not be mocked. Him.
He never minded.
Not alive anymore to say, and I am, and I mind.
Okay, let's cool it. We'll say no more of Tomasz.
Mourning your dearly departed Tomasz, who died in your last adventure facing a sea creature. You realise that probably you want to get going. So you've been advised that you are going to need to slip the cover of your guardsman, or just bring him along. Up to you. Are you taking any special provisions to get down to the barge wharf? Are you just going to walk down there, trundle on down as normal? You're going to try and slip the net with Cole? What's the plan?
I'm going. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going. Can Mercy turn to the who's the what's the owner's name again?
Owner of the hotel, Seraph.
Yeah. Turn to Seraphim and just kind of quietly says, "We're going to need 6 changes of clothing. Hopefully something quite nice, but not too nice, if you take my meaning. And we're going to need, well, do you have a back entrance?"
I have several. I will charge the clothes to House Montague.
Are we all
Thank you.
serious? Why are we trusting this man?
Why are you trusting me, actually?
Well, he seems pretty trustworthy to me. I suppose.
That's the halo
Bray,
effect, Bray.
you just want to get in his pants.
What? I never said any such thing.
Seraph just kind of shrugs like he's used to this.
There is
I
not
don't
much gold in pants.
I was chided by Mercy for mentioning the captain's warning to the Wavecaller, and yet we have sat here openly talking about our plans with someone we don't know, and now we're asking, with all due respect, Seraph, the fucking barman of the hotel that we were brought to for a spare pair of clothes so we can get away from the guard who he has pointed to and works with.
Yeah, but he
Are
seems
you
pretty nice.
all serious right now?
Well, Lucifer, if people didn't hear what our plan was, they definitely know now after you've just yelled it out to the entire hotel. So, congratulations.
Is the
I
entire
don't
hotel
think
bar
I'm
just,
at fault
silent,
here,
apparently?
Osras.
Yeah, like, people-
I mean,
people-
I am with Lucifer here. I think that it's a stupid idea. We should just walk there in our current clothes. We can even bring the guard. What difference does it make?
There's like a really loud slurp as like your guardsman Colitha just stares at you from the other side of the room, just through a straw, and he just his eyes slide downwards.
Marty looks over to her and goes, "We're going for a walk later."
Fine, it's healthy.
Um,
I sit down, grab my drink, and just glower at everyone.
Sarah shrugs and says, "Well, to be honest, my friend, you've kind of got to commit to it now. I mean, if you're gonna yell about it, shout it from the rooftops, let's go, let's commit, see what happens. Fuck around and find out, as they say. You've certainly fucked around, so part 2 is incoming." Don't worry, it can't be that bad.
God.
You're acting like this is a totalitarian regime ruled by evil. No, we're just trying to keep tabs on you, that's all.
My God. We're so fucked.
I was hoping we could barter for them to leave, and this time I'm trying to keep so quietly. However, not an option. Do what you want. Go.
Lucifer, if you are correct, and he's saying this very quietly, kind of maybe just to Lucifer or person just next to him, if you are correct, and we are being constantly watched and listened to at all times, what difference does it make?
Makes
And
little
perhaps-
difference.
Perhaps, if we at least step outside like we're intending to go to a meeting, we at least then can test the trustworthiness of this fine purveyor of establishment accommodation.
We'll test. Fine, we'll go. Fine. We'll go. See what happens. So,
It's not
mission.
it's not entirely apparent to me that they all serve exactly the same interests. Obviously, they defer to their regime, but there is space within a government to have one's own interests. I'm not sure that Seraph is exactly the same as Colitha. And in that
We're
difference,
trying to heed the captain's warnings. But we'll go. See, however, I still don't think it's wise to buy clothes from the man we were attempting to sneak out from.
I agree.
Let's go. Lose Collifer on the way. We can split up ourselves. He can't follow all of us at once.
Okay. So, resolving to leave. As expected, Colitha kind of stands up with you and kind of like the chewing gum at the bottom of your shoe, clearly not wanted, still walks kind of in lockstep with you guys. As you leave the hotel, Seraph calls out, do you still want the clothes? Or I can commission the cut. We can get something tailored, or...
Yes, please leave them all on our beds and charge it to House Montague, the finest that can be. We say
Oh,
nothing as we
yeah.
leave. No, I kid. We say nothing as we leave.
Okay, I mean, if Lucifer doesn't say that, then Osris definitely does.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no,
mean-
sure, no problem.
Free luxury clothing.
Hell yeah.
Mhm. Do you need accessories with that? Do you want jewelry? Shoes?
We will leave that up to you, but definitely a yes on that. If you've got any nice watches, if you've got any nice bags. We don't really need a bag of holding, but if you had one, we'd take one. Yeah, sounds great. Thank you so much.
Bag of holding it is, all on House Montague. Have a good evening. I'll see you soon. As you walk out, perception checks.
As
Oh my
Osmos
God.
walks out, like, he turns to Seraph and it's just like,
Sarah gives you like a similar wave back.
Oh, natural 1. Lucifer is
Natural one?
incensed and tipsy. Has no idea what's going on.
Reception.
Would you clarify us having a short rest, by the way?
Yeah.
Can I how different is all of our like outfits to what the tiefling and the little tiefling were wearing like on day 1?
The ones you met on the street earlier? Yeah, pretty different. I would say the majority of the clearly Varsalan locals tend to be wearing they're like pretty tailored tunics. You've got some quite nice silks, often quite brocaded silks. There's a lot of like leather paneling in what they wear. I'd say like quite color is kind of absent in their palette. There's not very many bright colors. So Osiris in particular, like hella stands out. Bray with his yellow raincoat. But you are in a part of town where there are a lot of tourists. I would say the majority of people in this lower part of the city don't really look like they're from here.
I rolled a 21 on my perception check.
Okay, those of you, I'll say like 16 and above, Sarah says, have a good night, see you later, and then high perception, you catch at the end, I hope.
I
So-
give him a cheeky
What do you
wink
say
over my shoulder as I walk away.
You get one back.
Oh, hell yeah.
Walking out into the streets. So it's roughly 11 at night. There are a lot of open air bars on the streets, particularly in this plaza. Ruspit's Plaza is one of those, like, think maybe Italian town plazas, restaurants. You've got trees, you've got nice topiary, you've got little strung up candles on kind of wires. So you've got little like floating lights in the city. It's really pretty pleasant. You were given the instructions to follow the kind of main road of Varsala downwards, the ascent. And it's easy enough, like it's fairly steep walk down the cobbled streets. It's not heaving, it's not as busy as the great cities of the realm. It is more quiet than that, but folk just seem to be going out their business, drink in the streets. You head down further, down into the city, through Respite's Plaza, down into Traders Plaza, which seems to be where most of the shops are. Majority of these seem to be shut, but you pass by many. So you've got like Calaman and Grey, that seems to have many lights on still. You have Poor and Fortunate Souls, that to you has the look of a magical item shop. You've got like Triumphs, which looks like a big kind of showroom for pottery, statues, stonework. Stalls as well, still out in market, so any traders that came in seem to be kind of wrapping up for the day quite late, and moving to drink. You make your way down. Well, actually, what are you doing with Colother? Are you just letting him follow?
Oh, we were going to split up.
Are we gonna scatter in separate directions and see if we can lose him?
Yeah, we all know where we're going. You might as well, but why don't we all split up individually? He can't follow all of us. Whichever one he follows and can't lose doesn't go.
You're absolutely right. Splitting the party never goes wrong. Let's do
No.
this.
All right, just splitting up. Who's going with who?
I'm gonna-
I'll be headed. Yep. Yeah.
Sorry,
all
Luke,
at
go on.
once. Guys, all at once. I was gonna say that I would be the one who tries to depart from the him, away from the man, leaving the man with others.
Oh, smart. I'm gonna go with Lucifer because I know that if we ever get in a situation where we're both being cornered, I want to be the one to win, escaping that. So.
No, we're not. I thought we were going all individually, but we can definitely
We're
We'll
going
go
off
together.
in a pair, you and me.
Okay.
Okay, so you all scatter. Arim, as you start to break apart, Colin says, "Wait, you're separating? Where are you all going?"
Toilet.
I'm going to the. I cannot walk past such fine earthenware and not know more. I'm going to talk. I'm going to learn.
Okay, fine. Please don't stay in this part of the city. Don't go up past Respit's Plaza. For your own sake, for mine. You're going into the vault tomorrow. Don't do anything stupid.
What do I do if I need to piss?
There are so many bars. What do you normally do when you need to piss? Do that.
I piss.
Go for it. I'm not here to tell you how to wipe your ass.
Oliver is so inequipped to deal with our heave.
Oliver, would you
Who's
like to
wiping?
train?
Oh, when they piss, it's going to wipe their ass.
That's a figure of speech.
Oliver, is there somewhere I can
Fuck.
train?
Train. I mean, I wouldn't recommend getting your sword out in public.
That's why I
Don't-
asked.
That's what Arheem is going to do.
I mean, there are more open spaces down towards the docks, sure.
Wonderful.
The hotel
We've
has a
all
courtyard.
seen your little dagger.
I won't ask. Fine. Just look after yourselves, and I will see you back at the hotel. Leave yourselves time to rest.
Bye. And he grabs
Thank you.
Lucifer by the arm and starts jogging off.
Those of you with like higher insight, you just see like this kid there's just so much panic in him right now. He's just kind of stood there looking like left and right like, fuck, nobody told me what I should do if they split up.
Sorry.
Like stairs to a Dalek.
Yeah, and like I'll say actually perception checks.
Perception.
24.
13.
Oh, nice. Better roll.
5.
Okay.
20.
20.
Ooh, what's a natural 20? 27.
Very nice.
Okay, these high rolls, like it's kind of they're in plate, particularly quite shiny pearlescent plate. You can spot him from like a street over, approaching some guards on the side of the street and having a kind of quiet conversation with them. And it seems to you that he's trying to follow Bray and Lucifer.
Excellent. Exactly what I wanted.
Okay. So, maybe you two, are you just walking? Are you letting him follow you? Are you trying to stealth?
Wait, so he knows he's followed us. Okay. Walking, I'll mutter to Bray. You've seen him, right?
Yeah.
You want to try
So-
to shake him, or do you want to let the others meet and we keep walking? Tracked.
We could shake him up a bit. And like you see like Bray like cracking his knuckles and
No.
clearly he's like taken to like let's beat the shit out of
No,
him.
no, Bray. I mean, let's lose him.
Yeah. He'll lose his life. He keeps cracking his knuckles. I'm ready for a new fight. Let's go.
Bray, no, I don't think that's the. Okay, the street coming up. You run right, I run left.
Alright. Where are we gonna meet? Down the docks.
Yes, I'll see you then.
Cool. I'm gonna beat you this time because I'm not carrying Osiris on my back.
3, 2, 1,
One.
go.
And he like runs off like a shot with like a sonic boom like bursting behind him.
Okay, I'll go get athletics checks, guys.
Oh, natural 20! 27!
That's the fastest you've ever seen a man move.
Right, you're so intensely like focused on beating Lucifer and running faster than him in this moment. You just run into some folk on the street, a small family that seem to be coming back from dinner, like mother holding hand with a child, and you just knock them over. You fall over them, and you just see Lucifer's coattails swish as he just darts off faster than you've ever seen him move.
I honestly can't believe that he rolled a nat 20 and I rolled a nat 1.
You've never felt so defeated. And like, Collifer starts jogging up and runs up to you and is looking at the family like, I'm so sorry. Bray, what are you doing? Get up. I'm so sorry. And they kind of look at him and say, well, aren't you part of the Pale Guard? Isn't this what you're meant to stop? Miscreants in the street? He kind of goes, this isn't, I'm sorry, this won't happen again.
I tripped over my shoelace, and he looks down, and he's not got laces on his shoes. He's wearing wellies.
Ray, he just pulls you to your feet. Come on, what's the plan? What are you doing here?
Can we go back to Seraph's embrace, please?
Yeah, let's do that.
Do you want a drink?
Sure. Where are your friends going?
I don't know.
Really? You really don't know?
I think I hit my head on the way down.
And a deception check with disadvantage.
And as he says this, he takes a napkin out of his jacket to dab at like fakely at the bit on his head that he thinks he hit. But the napkin he's dabbing with is the one that he got Seraph to write the directions on. Let me do my deception check.
You can't triple up on disadvantage, but...
Okay. That's a 6.
Collifer just like snaps the napkin out of your hand and looks at it and goes, okay, I could have just led you there. Let's be on our way. Come on.
Well, I thought we were getting a drink.
No, we're not getting a drink, Bray. Gotta stop your friends before they do something stupid. Come on.
Right. And he follows behind Collifer like a puppy that's been told off.
Yeah, you just feel so chided.
Lucifer will be running back to Seraph's embrace to see if there are any visitors afterwards, after we leave.
Okay, you sprint back to Seraph's embrace. Are you trying to like? Are you skulking? Are you just walking in the foyer?
Once we get close, I don't want to get seen, and I just want to watch it. Nothing happens. Nothing happens.
You watch it for 5-10 minutes. People go in and out, but no one that you recognize. No guards in particular.
Okay. I mean, everyone else will probably be doing stuff, so.
Yeah,
What does the average denizen look like in this area?
So this is Respite's Plaza. So this is like captains, docksmen, tourists, merchants primarily. There are a few which you would prescribe to be locals at the bars, but for the most part it's visitors from out of town, and they seem to be the ones coming in and out of the hotel.
So the docksmen, are there lots of like really generic looking docksmen?
Yeah, and when I say docksmen, to be honest, I mean more ship sailors from the ships, the inbound ships. There are plenty of workers at the docks, and as you get down there.
So on the way there, Modi would have at some point, like when he slipped into the shadow, would have cast Hidden Step to just literally disappear from sight, completely. And then when he came out, would have used Disguise Self, and he now looks exactly like a generic docksman, like whatever they look like. Just
generic
he's just heading his way down. Generic sailor. He's on his way down to the docks. Hopefully gets there before anything happens. Well, and he's just gonna wait until other people start arriving when he gets to the location.
Yeah, and so kind of walking through the Varsalen docks, right? So you're headed towards the southern end to get to the barge wharf. And as you get down towards that end, here the vessels generally appear to be river-bound, so long barges. And it kind of strikes you as a bit weird. Like, the coastal vistas of this side of the island are actually quite mountainous and cliffy. You can't imagine there being a river mouth in the immediate vicinity, so there being so many barges, which are particularly known for their ability to navigate sea and waves, is kind of strange to you. It's also quite busy here. Given it's like 11 pushing on to midnight now, there is a lot of activity. There's plenty of guardsmen about these docks. In these kind of broad hats. You can't see their faces, they sit veiled in shadow. And they're overseeing like lots of figures hauling boxes on and off these giantly long barges upon which sit many, many crates in neat stacks. There are warehouses lining the seawall down here. And you, Muddy, feel like pretty safely nestled in the shadows of the building, and like one by one you see your party make it down here. So Arim, Mercy, Osiris, eventually Lucifer, and unless the rest of them are doing anything to disguise themselves, they're just kind of wandering in.
He doesn't make an effort to reveal himself to the party. He stays as hidden. Just
Okay.
watching
DM.
to see what they do.
DM, these overseers in their grand hats. Could you tell us a bit more about them?
Yeah, they're wide brimmed, pretty solid. They're not straw, right? They're like solid canvas. They tend to be armored as well, so less decorative than Colithers, less bright, less plate. They're all reasonably tall, straight backed. Make an insight check.
It's not terrible. That's all it comes out as. Oh, it's a 9. Oh dear.
Yeah, you don't get too much beyond this. Just must be the uniform, like wide hats.
Oh, they're like guards, right?
Yep. Most of them carrying a long pike. So I'll say you gather one by one in the shadows of a warehouse near kind of an opening where you reckon, like, if Vesper was meeting you here, she'd probably be able to find you. And eventually you spy Bray and Colither in kind of Colither marching on ahead, arms folded.
Bray's trailing behind, hanging his head and maybe feeling a little bit sorry for himself.
And are you all kind of gathering together? Are you hiding?
What's
or
the time right now?
fairly close to midnight, quarter to midnight. I must say, you said you wanted you were doing something.
Yeah. So as we leave the hotel, Mercy would quickly change clothes. I've specifically got all the various different type, common, fine, whatever clothes. So quick change of clothes, and I will shape change into. Who have I touched? One of the guardsmen
Okay, cool.
who escorted us on the carriage, and I basically wanted to kind of like, if I could, figure out what the kind of surveillance we're under is. Like, like as I walk through the city on the way to the docks, looking out for, like people watching other people following other people, like birds or animals which might be used as observers, all of this kind of like, anti-spy kind of stuff. Like, how are they figuring out what we're doing? How are they keeping track of us? What are the things that I should be noticing?
Give me a perception, then an insight check.
Sure.
Use your whiz stat, monk.
14 on perception, and then insight
Okay.
is 9. I might re-roll that. In fact, I'm going to re-roll that. I'm going to use a luck point. I'm going to re-roll that. That's
Okay.
Lucky.
Natural 5. Okay, slightly better. So the insight is 13 instead of 9.
Okay, with a 14, yeah, there are quite a few guards, generally watching over. The guards tend to be stationed at the edge of places like the Ascent, so the main wide road that connect all the plazas. They tend to be looking out for people, darting into the kind of more tightly packed city centre, and the kind of bowl of the like ice cream scoop on the light side of the mountain. Not many people tend to walk down there, you notice, and quite often if it looks like a merchant is heading in there, they're politely turned back. Watching you specifically, you don't have too many eyes on you. You feel like there's actually not that much watching you in particular, just going about your business. It's only when you hit the fringes of where they don't want you to be that somebody intervenes and steps in. I'd say, like, maybe with a 14, what you do notice is this kind of ever-pervading... It's strange, because this place looked super misty when you sailed in, right? Like this thick fog, and it's really not reflective once you're in. It's actually pretty clear. Only at the kind of... At your ankles, you occasionally just see these curls of fog that wind their way around your ankles and just sort of, like, head on off and dissipate. And it feels almost purposeful, the way it clings to you. It doesn't seem to cling to others in the same way.
Right. So the border between the ice cream scoop and the kind of Ascent and the road and the rest of it.
Yeah.
Is that like is with the insight that I did? Is that a more like we're guarding the border to stop you coming in because we want to protect you from whatever's in the ice cream scoop, or because we want to protect the ice cream scoop from you?
Same with that roll. It's hard to distinguish, but
Okay.
maybe a little bit of column A and column B.
Okay, sure. That's good to know.
You get the sense that you're in a playpen and you're allowed to have fun within the bounds, and then there are some invisible walls where they're like, don't go here.
Okay.
So, yeah, you gather, and you see Colither and Bray approaching. They walk up to you unless you're all kind of hiding in the shadows, and Colither kind of sighs with a, really? What are you doing down here?
Yes. What are we doing down here, Bray?
Look, I couldn't shake him, this man. He runs so fast.
Yeah, well, thank you. I do, it's true.
Yeah, Olympic runner, for sure.
What's Olympic mean?
It's like when you run really fast.
See.
Yep.
Are you going to answer? Just out for a stroll in the barge wharf?
Well, I'm from the docks, so I like to see the boats.
Okay.
That's why I'm here. No other reason.
And you're all chaperoning Bray while he looks at boats?
DM, do
Yeah.
we have a sense of what time of day it is? Sorry.
Nearly midnight.
Approaching midnight.
Cool. In that case, so while this conversation is happening, Areem's going to sort of walk over to what? Sorry, Eski, what's your character's name again?
Roddy.
You're muted there. Is it Poddy? Is it
Moddy.
Modhi.
Moddy? That's it. Yeah, he's going to walk over to Moddy and sort of say, "I think it's time. It is almost time we begin this sermon." But sorry, yeah, it's up to you guys if you want to continue talking. But he has conspicuously sort of said that to the cleric.
I think you're muted.
Mercy won't have joined the group at the warehouse, wherever they're meeting. He
Mercy
will-
won't have. Okay.
If possible, I'd like to try and like stand stealthily as like a guard, kind of masquerade as a guard within sight of the warehouse, but
Mhm.
not be conspicuously part of the group.
Well, you're here for a sermon, is that it? You've come all the way down here to pray
And to look at the boats.
and to look at the boats.
Oh, look at this one over here. She's a beauty. And he like starts to walk towards one of the random boats that are there.
One of the guardsmen almost kind of gives a start as you start walking towards it, kind of one of the ones further down the pier, and Colither says, "It's fine, leave him." And it immediately just like snaps back into attention and doesn't bother you further. And Cole kind of looks at him and says, "Look, do what you will. Fine. If you're going to stay quiet about it, don't tell me. Just look after yourselves. I'm not saying this because I'm trying to keep secrets. I'm saying this because I've been in your position before, and I know how tempting it is, but don't do it."
Tempted to look at boats.
Yes, Bray, if that's what you want to read from that. I've looked at boats before and I don't recommend it. If anyone else wants a different meaning, don't fuck about.
What do you mean you were in our position before?
I wasn't born here.
What, you were recruited to help with the problem?
No, I came here for a different reason, but the results... Our results are gonna be the same.
You weren't allowed to leave.
No. I died here. And here I am.
You died how?
Oh, General Montague killed me. I mean, you remember him saying something to the effect
Yeah.
in the carriage on the way down.
Because
Because I fucked about. We thought it was a good idea to try and kill the guy in charge. It's not a good idea to try it. I mean, I'm not
Right.
suggesting you're trying to do something that stupid, but if it's even approaching that stupid, think twice. Also, we'll get in trouble if you cause any issues, so there's a bit of self-preservation at work here too. And I've said my sermon. Have fun with yours. I'll be back at the hotel. Yeah, be careful. And he nods over to the one of the guardsmen in the immediate vicinity, or calls out to him, and says, "Don't let them touch anything." And he seemed content actually to leave you alone.
Wow. That's surprising.
So,
And DM, do we see you alone?
you seem alone. Nobody seems to be bothering you. And nobody seems to be paying attention to you if you want to try and slip back into the shadows and make yourselves unseen. So, assuming that your intention is just to wait for Vesper, time passes a little bit, a few minutes, and you don't have to wait too long before you see a figure kind of dart between two warehouses beneath a black hood. You see kind of straight line of orange hair that you recognise to potentially be Vesper. Do you approach her, or do you wait for her to come to you?
Wait.
Okay. Looks around, kind of walking between shadow to shadow, looking out for signs, and eventually she spots you. She runs over, hood down, and she looks relieved, in fact, as she approaches you. 1 second. Actually, no, don't worry about it. Yeah, she approaches. She says, "Glad you've come. I didn't think you would. Good. You've made the right decision. You have more sense about you than the rest."
Others didn't come.
No, they didn't.
Not agreeing to anything. Gathered amongst ourselves. Want to know what's going on.
I've told you everything I can. Really, I'm not everything, I suppose, but like I said, if we're going to escape, which we will, we're absconding tonight, we're killing the Wavecaller, and we're making our way off this island.
Osmus, keen to come for information. What do you want to know?
And, well, number one, how do you expect to kill the Wavecaller?
Oh, yeah, no, that is an important part of the plan. Well, we couldn't take her in a fight, that's for sure. But I stole something on my way out. She pats her pouch. It'll be enough, I think. Weaken her, so all we have to do is finish her off, really. I won't kill her outright, but it'll knock her down sufficiently that it shouldn't be too hard for people like you. I can help to just finish her off.
What really is she? Why does it take such trinkets?
She's old. She's old and very powerful. Older than this place. I don't know much. I mean, I know she's not from here. She lived a long life before she ended up in service to the Dread Emperor, but yeah, she's very, very powerful indeed.
Well, what is it?
Look,
Can't we see it?
look, I do trust you. The fact you've come here speaks volumes, but there is a chance, right, that you just take it and run. And look, she won't be here in the city. Plan is, she looks over to one of the barges. We can stow away on one of them. They'll be shipping goods to and from the clutch. That's where she makes her home. We'll get her there while she's focused on her work. It's, it's a day's sail through the tunnel, and we'll be upon her. By the time they notice in the morning that you're missing, that you're not where you're supposed to be, we'll be most of the way there.
Reem's going to step forwards and, in a quite pushy way with his finger out and say, "You must show us. You need to understand. We don't know if you're telling the truth. Maybe you are some kind of test. We need confidence too."
That's true. No, that is true. Okay. She takes a step back. She is still wary. Clearly, she doesn't want to stand right next to you. She gets this thing out. And she pulls out of her pouch, and in her fingers is nestled this large and perfect pearl. The surface of it shimmers with something that you think must be magic. It's kind of it's pale, soft pastel colours that sort of just ripple in the night. It's really quite beautiful, but you can tell immediately that it's magic. And she speaks, and she says, "Okay, like I said, I stole this from the clutch. This is..." And her breath catches halfway through her sentence. Her eyes bulge in the most literal sense of the word, almost as if there's pressure forcing them outwards, pushing out from beneath her eyelids. She staggers, and her fingers kind of slip, and this pearl just like flies off to the side.
I grab it.
Okay, make a dexterity check.
That's a 4.
4? Okay, not fast enough. Vespa staggers. She looks up at you desperately. Her eyes are kind of darting to and fro, watching this pearl fly through the air. And it doesn't fall. It stops mid-air, almost as if caught, and materializing from the fog, a figure kind of coalesces out of the mist. You recognize it to be the large, weighty frame of the Wavecaller. Her eyes kind of fixed on Vespa, who is staggering, clutching at her chest, her throat. She begins to heave, and out of her mouth begins to bubble, then to pour this foamy red, watery blood. And you smell what you think must be this intense salt smell, this saline smell, as she just coughs up this stream of foam and brine. And the Wavecaller takes a step forward, and she says, "Do you know, every time a group of adventurers comes from the outside world, there is always some little rodent in our mill who thinks it is their opportunity, as if we would let a little rat escape its cage. I'm not angry. You've been caught up in something that you have no part in. I'll let you go. I don't mind that your intention was to kill me. Honestly, you had a fair shot. It's just a shame." And she looks at Lucifer, as she says that you thought you were cleverer than the rest of us, that I wouldn't know that you were up to something. And that you, and she looks at Bray, are so easy to watch. You've got to do something about that if you're going to have these conversations in places like this, yes?
Oh, well, thank you. And he kind of runs his hand through his hair and flexes a bit after she says you're so easy to watch, because he takes it completely the
As
wrong
you
way.
flex, make a con save.
Oh, shit! Can't flirt with everyone. Rolled an 11.
Okay. How much HP do you have?
72 hit points. Or total or current?
Okay. You all watch as Bray flexes. He looks down at his bicep. It's nice. It's big. And it withers. He just seems to collapse in on himself. The moisture draws from his face and sucks in. His eyes begin to bleed, and he falls to the ground. His eyes are staring up at the sky, and there is no motion or breath in him. And the Wavecaller, her hand is slightly outstretched.
Where's the pearl? Where's the pearl?
Huh?
Where's the
Where's
pearl?
the pearl? In her hand. She kind of looks
I
down
take
at
my
it.
sword and strike it.
You want to strike at it? Okay, yeah, make an attack roll.
I strike at the pearl.
Yeah.
Can I use my reaction, or is that how does this feature work? I guess that's your ruling. Oh no, so it's bonus
a
action
targeted
to
attack
use.
on something specific and small, right?
Yeah. So I want to use my bonus action to give myself advantage. So essentially, this would be a straight roll. Otherwise, I'm rolling at disadvantage, and I suppose
make a
you're
straight roll on
cool
it.
about whether or not I have it.
Yeah, make a straight roll on it.
Okay. So I just need to roll out my feature. Shit. Dramatic tension is being lost. 20.
20? Yeah, you hit it, and your sword bounces off it. This is a magical item. And to your knowledge, attacking something like this doesn't tend to do much. They tend to be fairly indestructible. Brave lies at your feet. And the Wavecaller tuts as you make the strike, and she says, Aye, look, stop. You have work to do for us. I am not here to get in the way of that. I just want to give you a little reminder that you are not as safe as you act that you are. And you would do really well to heed the warnings. And she looks around to the end of the street, and she calls out and she says, Call it that I won't tell the general you'll let this happen, yeah? And kind of peeking out from behind, you just see crestfallen Colitha looking on, just watching. And he sighs, and he nods. And could you all make perception checks for me, please?
It's covered by Bray's dead, right?
Not moving.
Do I make a perception check?
No, you don't make a perception check, buddy.
Am I making the same?
Your
There is no-
eyes are filled with blood.
There is no
Gloss
perception check.
over.
There is no perception check. Lucifer is attacking her.
Do I see any, or can I sense that like lifelines are being cut, like destinies are being changed in this warehouse? I'm outside. Do I know any of this is happening?
Make a shady destiny check. With a percentage dice, yeah?
Yeah. I'm rolling high, right? Or no, I want low.
Yeah.
I want low.
I only missed a tiny bit of this. I've had my headphones on the whole time, but like, if I was standing watching, how much would I be able to see of this?
You can see most of this exchange.
Event?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Can I tell if I've been noticed?
You can try and check it. What was that, Mercy?
That's a 36 on the destiny.
36?
Yeah.
You can't tell. It's chaotic, in fact. Hard to read.
So I'm just standing outside,
Watching. Yeah.
watching the warehouse. Did I even see Colitha like come out and go back in at all?
Yeah, I'd say you saw that. Yeah, and she's called him out. He's not very stealthy. He's wearing plate. It's sheeny pearlescent plate. What do you wanted to insight check to see if you'd been noticed?
Yeah, I rolled a 19.
19? You can't tell. You're not sure. Maybe. They're not
With a
looking at you.
19?
Yeah, you don't know. And Lucifer, you're attacking Wavecaller Khazra, yeah?
Wait, before Lucifer does that,
Mhm.
does Osiris get any indication that Lucifer is gearing himself up for a fight?
I mean, my
Like,
sword
we
is
are
out.
in-
I've already swung my sword at the pearl, and I've just drawn it back.
Yeah, but
to
that was
essentially-
at an object,
So
right?
I've-
That wasn't to start a fight.
I mean, she's holding it. And my sword is coming again to strike again.
Can I, intervene in a sort of non-aggressive way?
Bray's dead. How are you feeling? Bray's on the floor, looking withered and bleeding.
Yeah, I
What-
know. I am listening, but you're also about to attack this massively OP, hugely old thing without the pearl. I mean, I feel like starting combat here is not. Anyway,
You can
I
grapple.
put
Yeah.
Can I I mean, it will be like a grab to Lucifer's arm, but it won't hold any like weight. Like this is not like intending to physically force him back, but to just make him think for a second and stop what he's about to do.
Okay, so yeah, maybe inter-party persuasion checks. Rather than make you roll for this, Osiris, I'll say that like Lucifer, you might be too angry to hear this, but Osiris is very much putting a hand on you, motioning. Normally, he's someone that you want to listen to. It's up to you whether you are too angry for that now.
I mean, yeah, Sai, if you can make a persuasion check. We'll respect the roll.
You want me to make a persuasion check?
He said he respect the roll.
Why are you like this? That's a 15.
Okay. So, guys, I say you catch it, and I just swirl on you, and I'm like, "You attacked Ray. We're not getting out of here. What are you doing? To fight."
And do you think we're gonna get out of here with all these people around? With the Wavecaller right there, with one of us down? Think for a moment, Lucifer. And he's smiling the entire time. Bray is on the floor, withered, shriveled. We have no idea, like, whether he's alive or not. Lucifer's about to, like, go full anime main protagonist. But he's, like, still smiling. Perhaps it's unnerving in this situation. But you feel like what he's saying to you is not as empty-headed as maybe some other things that you've heard him say before.
As you say that, literally a random dog hand materializes out of thin air, like literally was invisible, standing over Bray, and like a little glow of gold comes out of his hand as I cast Spare the Dying on Bray. Which is he at 10 HP potentially? I don't know how that's going to work, or is it better to just use a healing spell?
Spare the Dying requires you to touch a living creature that has 0 hit points. This creature is not living.
Okay, so I thought he was still living, just like on the floor.
I would say that most of you don't see this, Lucifer, Osiris, but Mercy and I think Arim, you see a shape shift beneath the surface of the water behind you out in the docks. This massive shadow. It almost feels like you're back on that ship from a few weeks ago, beloved Tamash.
Yeah.
Crunched beneath the jaws of a sea monster, and you feel there is a lot here that is waiting for you to step out of line. And the Wavecaller looks to Osiris and says, "See, this one is smart. I like a boy that knows respect, and I like it when they recognize the natural order of things, yes? What is going to happen here? I am going to walk away from this. I am going to forget that your plan was to kill me. Like I said, I don't care that much. You're going to do the work tomorrow, yes? You'll show up.
No.
You'll do the deed."
I told General, you to do what you wanted. We proved ourselves. We did not have any part of this. Yet, your city is crumbling around you. You needed us, and this is how you treat what you need.
I will call it
There is
bad
no
fate.
natural order. We are here to serve you. And we met somebody, and you do this, and you think we'll still serve you?
I don't want to
Are you
kill
deaf?
2 of you, but you're such a little bitch.
No, he's not bitch, he's right.
You've met someone, a rebel that is conspiring to murder me, yes? You remember that bit. I'm telling you not to fucking do it. You're going to show up tomorrow. You're going to do your job. And then you're done. Yeah?
Tell me
That's
this.
all this
If
needs
we
to be.
came here and someone came to you and said, I have words about these people you want to hear, would you hear it about us or would you say no?
No, I'd probably tell the people hiring me that a miscreant had tried to contract me to murder them. Yeah, I'd probably call that out. Wouldn't sneak around like little rats in the sewer, huh? You
The
think
place
you're
you're told
better
you're not allowed to
than...
leave? I don't think I bet. I just think
They
you've
just-
murdered one of our friends in front of us, and then you expect us to turn up tomorrow like nothing's happened.
Can you make a wisdom save, please, Lucifer?
Yep. 17.
Fail. Your body locks.
Mhm.
You are paralyzed. And I just don't understand why you think you have recourse to argue here. What makes you think you're special enough to do that, huh? Do you always get what you want? Do you think you're the main character, huh? No, it's not how this works. I've said what I meant to say, yeah? Fix the vault. Help Monty out. Help us out. And then we can talk.
Our
I'd
plan was
feed-
always to help you out, though.
Yeah, it was.
We came here with perhaps slightly different ideas of what we wanted, but our goal was always to fuck her over. And he points to the shriveled corpse of Vesper, or briny corpse of Vesper. I mean, I was just hoping that we could take the item first, perhaps give it to you, or the general, perhaps not. But we were always going to fuck her over. I mean, if you had people watching us, surely you would have heard Lucifer say himself, and he repeats the words that Lucifer said in the last episode where he is talking at the bar and he's saying something along the lines of our best goal should be to tell the authorities and to tell Colifer, I think, what Vesper had said to us. Like, he said that as his main reaction, and if someone would have been listening, that is something that they would have heard.
Yeah, she knows this, and that is exactly why I'm not feeding all of you to my little girl. And she motions to behind her in the harbour, and this massive fin, vast, ship size, just swirls out lazily and slaps down.
My little girl.
And she says, like I said, look, I'm not here to kill all of you. I would be doing that if I thought you were seriously, going along with this plan. But it is my duty to remind you not to fuck around. All right?
How are we supposed to do our job if you've removed one of our party members?
Modi kind of points up and he pulls two little copper pieces out of his pocket and he just goes, "May I?" As he goes to cast gentle repose on the corpse of prey. Popping two copper pieces over his eyes.
No, actually wouldn't do that. I mean, if you want to, I wouldn't, but... Anyway, look.
You wouldn't...
See you tomorrow morning.
Wait, hold on. You wouldn't... Why?
Look, I'm not really in the whole, dead people magic shit, yeah? But... maybe. Maybe. And she's, so infuriatingly casual about this whole situation, right? She just kind of looks down at all of you, and it's very much just you've had your hand caught in the cookie jar. You think it's really fucking unfair that the punishment for this, for trying to steal a cookie, is one of you is dead. And she kind of just doesn't really seem to care very much. And she looks over all of you and says, look, like I said, see you tomorrow. That's all this needs to be. We're done here, yeah? Thanks for getting this back for me. I would have been in trouble if this stayed missing. Oh boy. And she looks down at Vesper's body. Shakes her head. That is a shame, actually. I thought she was going somewhere. And she looks over you one last time, shrugs, and just slowly starts to kind of dissipate into the mist. Clearly she feels like she said whatever needs to be said, and she leaves you kind of echoing past you in this sort of almost like pressure of air that blows past and then scatters. And there is no further trace of the Wavecaller. And if you look out into the harbour, you only see the continued shadow of darkness under the surface of the water. You are left alone. You're aware that Colifer is standing several blocks down, onlooking. But you're left to your own devices. With Braid's body. Awry, you stand on a balcony, peering out over white marble stone rails onto a very beautiful vista. You see a lake shimmering the color of pale moon from a moonless sky stretching out far beneath you. You are not alone here. There is someone next to you, similar in height to you, but slimmer in frame, long, elegant, and pale, and just standing quietly with you on this balcony. They're not turned to face you. They're male, you think, soft rivulets of hair falling down to the waist, atop a gown with a sort of veneer about it, a nightgown maybe, and floating, soft, almost translucent fabric. Pearls, diamonds, rose quartz catch the moonlight and kind of sparkle on the edge of the cuffs. It's heavily embroidered and decorative. But you can't see the face, they're just quietly looking out over the lake. You remember what happened, you remember the last few seconds of your life. It hurt, it was painful. You felt part of you crumble inwards. You felt the moisture leave you. This dry, cracking pain as your throat just split with no moisture to keep it wicked. But now you're somewhere very quiet and peaceful.
My life?
You say that out loud?
Yeah. My life.
The figure, turns to you. It almost looks less real to you than the carved statue you saw earlier in the day. Perfectly symmetrical features that could have been made rather than kind of came upon a person naturally. You look upon a very beautiful man indeed. Soft white skin, pillowy lashes that rim eyes of this kind of flickering, dancing light that reminds you of the surface of that pearl that the Wavecaller was holding right before you died. His lips are ever so slightly pink, curled into an easy smile. He seems somewhat curious about the question. Did you suffer?
Yeah, I mean, I remember my oh, it's so embarrassing. And he like kind of like leans on the rail that they're next to and like kind of puts his head in his hand. And he's like, oh, I was trying to flirt with that old woman and she bloody I'm a muscle. Oh, it was like something of a nightmare. Surely I was sleeping, right? I've just woken up.
You are dead. It is not so rare a thing to be on these shores.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm actually... You for real? And he, like, tries to slap himself to see if he's, like, sleeping or if he can feel it or...
The mists around you solidify into a shining surface, mirror-like, that you can see yourself in. You're not yourself. You're not a body. You're just a kind of glow of white, which is strange because when you look down, you see your own body, you see yourself, but reflected in the surface, there's just nothing other than this glowing orb suspended midair.
Oh, man. Can't believe this. What am I gonna do?
Mayhaps fate has steered you to this union. Will you kneel and enter my service?
What kind of service are we talking here? And he kind of gives him a little bit of a look.
You're not even sure if he perceives the look. You, after all, don't have a body. Actually, make an insight check.
Come on. Oh no, my insight's so bad. I rolled a 8 minus 1, so that's a 7.
7? This person is incredibly unnerving. There is normally when people talk, even if you don't understand what it is, there's something on their face. Like there's a flicker of some kind of emotion, even if you can't read it. There is absolutely nothing on this person's face, even though there is a smile on his lips. Even though he has eyes, which, you know, the window to the soul and what they say, you can't read, like, even the surface. You just don't think there's anything to read, in fact. And you have no idea how that was received. And you asked what sort of service, right?
Yeah.
Service in name, service in action, service in soul. You will be mine. And that is all.
I mean, not gonna lie, that sounds pretty, romantic to me. You coming on to me? He tries to give him a nudge. When he tries nudging him with his elbow, does he make contact or does he go through him?
Completely goes through.
Oh,
No. It's strange because you can feel the surface of the arm, soft fabric on a slight body. You can feel that contact, and you can continue to feel the contact as your hand passes through him, and it changes from fabric to skin to like innards, you think, as your hand just passes through.
He kind of goes, ah! As he like finishes passing his elbow through and totally loses his suave moment, if you could call that suave.
Yeah, you are a rare sort, aren't you?
Well, that's what my mum always told me.
He kind of pauses on that. So, you will swear?
Well, can I have your name first?
I am the Dread Emperor. I became death long ago. And mine is not an order of gold, but an order of quiet death and moon of the chill night. And you will address me such as Emperor.
Well, it's a bit of an unusual first name, but sure. Take you up on that. Not
on
hard
your
on the
knees.
eyes? Oh, I mean, they're right here, like, can people see, and we're on the balcony, and... Okay, yep, and he, like, immediately gets on his knees, and...
He, stretches out a hand. Do you take it? Do you put your hand in his?
Yeah. Take his hand.
Welcome to the Dread Isles, Bremeleg. I'll see you soon. Don't keep me waiting. And you feel this... It's not cold that pours in through your hand, but it feels... It is a little chilly, but it just feels like pressure that kind of winds its way through your wrist, up your arm, into your chest, settles there, and kind of swells up your throat downwards, and you feel it kind of permeate to every kind of corner of your body. You look up, and this face that has not moved in expression for the entirety of this conversation just looks down impassively at you. And he just says, "Good luck." And the vision vanishes, disappears from your eyes. And party, you all watch as Bray's eyes shoot open. He gasps for breath as you kind of watch his body fill out again. The withering, all of it sort of seems to reconstruct itself. And you see quite clearly that for those few seconds that this happens, his eyes are this pool of like luminous green before they settle and flicker back to normal.
He sits up, and immediately, before checking anything else, he goes to check his bicep. Is his muscle back where it should be?
The muscle is back. If anything, maybe it's a little bigger. I don't know.
Oh, thank God, thank God. Mwah! And he like kisses his bicep. looks around at his party members. How are they reacting to him sitting back up?
I think Modi would have dropped the illusion, like, at some point here, so it just looks like himself. And he has kind of one eyebrow raised, and he goes, "That wasn't me. I couldn't bring him back."
Oh, you tried to bring me back, Modi.
I did, but unfortunately I don't have any diamonds, so
Oh,
all I could do is stabilize your corpse, but then now you're alive. But you were definitely dead, so...
you're
Maybe
better
you-
at your job than you thought so.
Yes.
No, I think this is far more sinister than that.
Sinister, he's standing. Can you not
Yes,
see
but
he's standing?
Yes, but he should not be alive. I did
Why
not bring
not?
him back. It wasn't
Why
me,
would you say that?
someone else. Because
Who are
someone
you
else
to
brought him
decide.
back.
Well, I'm
Kind of
glad you're
flash-
happy to see
a
me,
slightly
Arim.
annoyed look.
He's gonna get up.
I never
and
said I
clasp-
wasn't happy to see you. I just said that this is not natural. This was not
No,
me.
it's not natural, is it? And Arim sort of approaches you, ready to defend himself if need be, slowly, and
Whoa, 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 whoa!
puts
Hold
the
on, hold on.
hand out
Hey,
to
hey,
you.
hey, Arim, come on, it's me, Bray.
You look and sound, but... And he touches Bray. Is Bray warm of blood?
Oh, waiting for the DM to tell us.
Sorry. What was it? I missed the last.
Is
Bray
Bray warm of blood? Warm of cheek?
Ooh. Make a medicine check.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Can I do the same? Because I was just touching the corpse.
That's somehow a 23.
I rolled okay, so that's a 25. I rolled 19.
Yo.
Whoa!
In that case, we diagnose his back lumbar issues. Improves
Oh,
quality of life.
finally! Those have been bothering me for
No,
years.
see, he's had this one knot in the back of his leg ever since he pulled it like while playing football when he was a
Yeah.
kid.
Unmistakably, that is not a healthy heart rate. It beats once every 10 seconds, almost as if it's sort of forgetting to, and then just oh yeah, I should beat.
How does he? Like temperature-wise, how does he feel? Like
Temperature
colder?
wise, yeah, this heart rate is not enough to sustain life. He's definitely colder. Blood is not circulating in the way it ought to.
So, being a cleric of nature, and I roll a really high medicine check, would I get any whiff of like undead or necromancy, any sort of necromantic magic that seems to be kind of emanating off this individual in question?
You can religion check this one.
All right, do that. It's gonna be a really low roll this time, isn't it? Yeah, that's a nat one. No chance.
Well, I would say like common sense says generally when someone's brought back from the dead, and their eyes are glowing green a little bit, there's probably some necromancy involved, yeah. But also like normally that means skeletons and shit, and this isn't that, so question mark.
Yeah.
Osiris is going to kneel down to Bray because Bray's still kind of sat on the floor, lying on the floor.
Yeah, just kissing his own biceps.
Just stay there for 1 second, Bray, and he's gonna hover his hand over Bray's chest, sort of very yellow light emanating from his hand, and he is going to cast Divine Sense, or use Divine Sense.
Okay. What happens with divine sense? That's
I can detect good and evil, and I can sense anything celestial fiend, undead within 60 feet.
undead is immensely strong from this, and it's not that Bray himself is, it's that there's something in his core, like something nestled in his chest that is this concentrated you said you can detect good and evil? Pure evil that just sits in his chest, like absolutely vile core of death that sits in him. That once every 10 seconds seems to just pulse and keep him going.
Right, I don't want to alarm you, but by every normal sense of your biology, you should be dead.
What? But
Nothing is really working. Your heart isn't beating.
what? No, it's got to be beating. I'm talking and I'm breathing and I'm
No, I think there's some sort of magic keeping you alive. But
No.
it's definitely not
Hold
your
on,
heart.
hold on. No, I've heard about this. When you hit the gym a lot, you lower your heart rate because you're more fit than other people, so that's what's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, you always had a
you
very
just
healthy heart rate.
you just
it's
haven't encountered this peak level of athleticism before.
And Bray, I encountered you 20 minutes ago, and your heart was normal.
Nah. That was because I was running before. I've just been having a wee nap, so
Oh, I see. All right,
Yeah.
understandable.
yeah.
How do you feel?
I mean, DM, how do I feel?
Really good, actually. Really, really good.
Bray, do you like this place?
You love this place,
I
Bray.
mean, the Dread Isles, yeah. It's fab here.
Good, because I reckon
Everyone's-
you might be staying a while.
Well,
If I was to
wasn't
make an educated guess.
well, I mean, aren't we all? Because Vesper was our ticket out of here, and she's fucking dead now, eh?
Yeah, I guess that's the reason.
Yeah.
And he kind of just like stands up, puts the copper pieces and a little bit of salt back in his pocket, and just kind of shrugs a little bit.
Yeah,
Esky Molly
speaking
only
of
finds one of
Vesper.
the 3 copper pieces, by the way.
He's suspiciously missing it. He's just like, huh, I must have dropped it.
Speaking of Vesper, however, Brave sits back up. Vesper
Does not.
also sits back up. However, her flesh melts from her bones. It falls off and sizzles and dissipates until there is naught but skeleton left.
Wait, but
and
she's
it-
sitting up.
Yeah, sitting up, and it looks around, stands up, and walks over down towards the wharf. Unless anyone stops it,
No.
finds a box, picks it up, and moves it onto a barge, and it just seems to move boxes to and from the barges.
Hmm.
Her clothes are left behind.
Yeah, I might have a look in those, you know.
Yeah, thought you might.
Unscrupulous.
Thought you might.
But in doing so, be like, not even, just he's like gonna kick the sort of skin bag pile first and just be like, did you see that?
Yes, I think we all saw that.
That's so funny.
Is this how this place runs? Like this?
Yes, I believe so. Or at least it should be y'all.
So Ozros is still kind of holding his hands over Bray, like he looks like he's checking Bray out as like Modi and Bray are talking. And as he finally removes his hands after he uses Divine Sense, he turns to Bray and says, "Look, I studied for a long time. I know all about medicine, and yes, your heart rate is slow, but Bray, this is such good news. There doesn't seem to be anything wrong with you.
But he just kind of raises his eyebrows like, nothing at all.
You seem to be healthy, and I'm glad that you're back with us, and perhaps this was an odd spell that the Wavecaster has used upon you, but we should really, maybe, not do that next time. But I'm glad you're well, Bray." And he sort of just like takes a sigh of relief and pats Bray on the back.
Cheers, Ozzy. I appreciate it. And he gives Ozris a little pat on the shoulder.
I think we should all head back to the hotel and get a good night's rest. I think we'll need it for the vault.
During this whole exchange, has Mercy revealed himself to us, or is he still kind of blended in as a dock worker?
Yeah, so like I think probably as some kind of magic brings Bray back, like a few moments after, probably before Vesper bursts in, Mercy will like burst back into the warehouse, like come running around the door, like fists raised. You see like glowing kind of like ethereal hands or claws around his forearms as he activates his tattoo, and he bursts around in his human persona, and as he enters and sees, the first thing he says is, "What is going on?" There's the weave something. He looks around and I think he probably does notice Bray. And
Is he still in disguise, Mercy?
no, by this point he's returned to
Atropos?
Atropos.
Cool. Alright, Mercy, how's it going? Or Atropos, whichever one you are right now, I don't know.
Someone,
You're right.
What happened?
Well, I took a bit of a slip and a fall, and I'm doing all right now. And he kind of finally stands up and starts brushing himself off.
No, your tapestry is gone.
What? I didn't do no tapestry. I can't frickin' knit.
You have no
And these hands look like some that can knit a tapestry.
no weft. What happened to Bray?
The same thing that'll happen to all of us if we die on this island.
He should be dead.
He is.
What? No, I'm not.
This is wrong.
He just doesn't really know it yet.
You did both wrong.
Well,
Bray,
there is
there are
kind
worse
of-
things than death out there.
Nah.
And like Colith is kind of approaching you guys slowly. He doesn't really feel the need to interject. His arms are folded, kind of looks to the side. And in a moment of quiet, he says, "So, corroboration with a rebel, was it?"
Your boss is stupid.
No.
I do want to make it known that the majority of us had no intention of corroborating with her. We just wanted information.
Actually, that's a good point. I want to remind all of you that originally I didn't even want to go down to the docks. I wanted to go to the vault. So whatever's happened here is on you guys.
Lucifer, that one might resonate pretty strongly.
Am I still paralyzed?
No. It was,
Okay.
it was a.
I just thought Lucifer's just been laying here, paralyzed this whole time.
Half an hour.
Yeah, I just. I was never told I wasn't.
Yeah, no, that like really cuts. After all, it was you that the Wavecaller first looked to, indicating that she might not even have noticed you guys. Did you not feel the need to get clever with letting her know that you thought you wouldn't be leaving the island? This maybe gnaws on you in a way that feels like guilt, justified or not, in a way that self-blame sunk into you. The last time your friends died, you've been here before. And you can't help but feel responsible. And Colitha kind of shrugs and says, "Look, it's not a good look to corroborate with rebels. Hand them in. Don't meet them at midnight." No wonder she put it down. Guys, you can't have your cake and eat it. And if it's any consolation, Bray, it's not so bad. Everything still works if you're wondering about that.
Oh. And he kind of like glances down, and then he like, his shoulders sink in like relief. By the way, does Bray feels any sort of like connection or kinship with Collifer, considering I'm assuming have been resurrected by the same guy? Like, are we like part of like a network of like minds or anything like that?
You don't feel like connected to him in any way. You're still your individual selves. But I think you do probably feel just emotional kinship potentially. There's something that kind of like maybe as you look favorably towards him to some extent. And when your eyes fall upon the crest on his armor, something sort of just a little warm and fuzzy goes, yeah, that's who I serve. Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm a patriot now.
Yeah. Glory to the Dread Emperor.
That's not what your emperor can do for you. What you can do for your emperor.
Yeah.
Cool.
Praise be, man. Praise be.
Jesus
Right.
Christ.
Did
Well-
you see anything when you were dead?
Me?
Yes.
I mean, do I have memory of the interaction I had?
No. You remember a you remember a beautiful lake. You remember white stone. And you remember something very kind keeping you from passing on. Keeping you in the world. You don't remember the contents of the conversation, really. You don't remember the face.
Yeah, I don't remember much. Just, yeah, kind of felt quite happy when I woke up and everything was back to normal.
Like, you might put it together that, yeah, it was like, I just met the Dread Emperor, man. He was so cool, but you don't remember it. Like, it's like a
Yeah.
feeling that it happened rather than you have the memory of it.
Yeah. And, I think I met, His Eminence as well. He kind of smiles a little bit when he says that.
Colitha's eyebrows raise.
He kind of looks at Collifer and is like, I know, right?
Yeah. Well, let this be a lesson, I guess. Back to the hotel, I guess you'll want to rest. And, he kind of looks at Vesper's skeleton carrying boxes to and from the wharf. It's much better to end up like me and Bray than it is to end up like her. Like I said, this isn't so bad.
And I attack Mercy. Mercy, Bray.
Yeah, you can attack your party member if you really want to.
Yeah, I do.
Make an attack roll.
Okay.
Is this a surprise round?
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming, so
Yeah.
I guess we're all a bit surprised.
Yeah, I think so.
24. Oh, and I've also activated my Eldritch Claw tattoo.
Wait, how many hit points do I have right now?
Well,
Full, okay.
So
Have I benefited from a long rest? Do I have my rage back?
pardon?
Have I benefited from a full rest? Or am I just at full HP?
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, full rest, all good.
Okay.
Okay, so the first one's 24, the second one's a 17. The first unarmed strike, the flurry of blows is another 23, and then an 18. So 17 lowest.
All of those hit.
Am I rolling necrotic fountain damage?
Oh, do I have,
Yes, yeah, you are. You can roll it.
Okay,
do I have any resistances or anything?
3, 4, and then a d6 on top of those for each Eldritch Claw. One, two, three, four, that's it. 14, 15, 22, 26, 32, 39, 47, 56,
So 56 points of damage.
66 points of damage.
What?
66 points of damage. How much of that was necrotic?
Necrotic fountain 6, 10,
What did you do, sir?
18.
He broke the
18?
game. That's what he did.
So that 18 damage you take as healing instead. As Mercy decks you from the side, there's like the green mist like almost powers Mercy's hits, right? And it seeps into your wound at the crack and just starts to knit the flesh back together. As it seems like somebody using the Dread Emperor's magic to attack one of his creations probably just heals it. But still, that hit is pretty hard.
So wait, how much damage do I take total then?
66
I'm glad I didn't bring Pod to this campaign. He would have been
66.
really useless.
minus 36, so 30
Minus
points of damage
18.
total. No, but you did that as healing, so if the 18 was included in the damage you originally did, then it's 30 total.
Okay, cool. Where are you hitting me, by the way? Like in the face, in the stomach? Like, what's going on here?
In the heart. Basically trying to put you down. So throat, sternum, heart.
Okay, Jesus Christ. Atropos, what the fuck are you doing? And he's gonna swing and try to get you off of him. Let's see. Unarmed strike. Does a 23 hit?
It certainly does.
Cool. So roll for damage. That's 5 points of bludgeoning damage. And he's just gonna sock you across the face.
5 points of bludgeoning damage. Doesn't react. There's like a impassive look on Mercy's face.
What's fucking wrong with you? Snap out of it.
You are wrong.
What? You're wrong. You're
I'm
wrong for
sorry.
attacking your friend.
That you are dead.
I'm
But
not
each
dead.
one of us has our time. You should have passed. Your story has been written, and the ink must be allowed to dry. Now,
Jonathan says, I'm also dead, so don't punch me, but you'll be attacking a lot of people in the city if
Most
that's the
people on this
attitude you're
island today.
carrying on with. Yeah. You tried attacking the general earlier, and that didn't go so well, so
And their stories continue?
I certainly think mine is. I wake up, I do my job. I even have friends, believe it or not.
Modi puts a hand on your shoulder and just says, perhaps things are different here for what they should be. But that doesn't mean that we need to kill everybody we see.
Yeah, especially not your fucking friends. And he like gives like a really sour, hurt look to.
And he kind of
Atropos.
maybe tries to persuade you with perhaps there is a more natural way to solve this problem. A bigger way.
that's true.
Something to do with the vault.
This place is not
Cursed.
natural. These creatures should not be. They should not have action. and
Something in this
thought.
place is. Ever since I smelt the mist, I knew this place was wrong.
And while I cannot say that I could do it for all, our friend should not be corrupted like this. The story of Bray Maleg was a good one, and I was honoured to have witnessed so much of it. But every mortal dies. It is all part of the great plan.
What happens if he dies then?
I died, and I'm still here. As much as I may not like it.
If Bray dies again here, it depends how the Emperor views his death. Death here is an inconvenience, more so than it is a permanent problem. You can either be like us, favored and wanted here, or you can be like, his eyes drift over to Vesper.
Like her.
Like her.
She
Her-
was a bigger fool. Death. I was killing. I will be so foolish.
That's why I said information is important.
Mission
We did not know how this place worked.
should have known that.
How could we have possibly known that?
That information isn't free. Should have known that.
Of course it's not free, but it is important. We didn't know how this place works, and we've had a horrible lesson in understanding how it does.
If it's any consolation, the Wavecaller rejects, in fact, her second life. She ages, has aged. She is independent. She does what she wants.
So
And
strong
she's-
enough to defy the Dread Emperor himself.
She's earned his respect, I think, more to the point.
Hmm. She might be the only one on this island.
Yeah, there aren't many of them. Look, you've said it well. It was a hard lesson to learn. But, Bray, we don't age, and, like I said, it's not so bad. The vampires won't bother us, because obviously we're not tasty to them.
Wait, you're just saying I'm gonna look this handsome for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
This is fucking great. All hail the Dread Emperor! All hail the Dread Emperor! And he like starts like
Yeah.
Okay, as Bray says this,
All hail.
as Ray says this, the same look, Modi's progress disappears from Mercy's face, and as he says this, he attacks Bray again.
Okay.
I
can we-
will say that the party will not murder each other on this night.
Okay.
You hit Bray again, you smack him. You can't stop the Dread Emperor from intervening on these punches, by the way. You punch and it heals, you punch and it heals. It seems that, yeah, fountain empowered magic just isn't gonna hurt his goons. I will say, in the interest of time and progressing,
Okay.
we smooth this one over. Mercy, I don't know how you find peace with the fact that your friend's story has ended. Maybe it's the reminder that Modi himself died at some point. Maybe it's the reminder that most people you've spoken to here are in fact dead, and do still very much seem to have things continuing about them. Maybe this thought continues with you into the night as you return back to the hotel. Seraphil gives you a look as you traipse back in. He kind of shares a look with Colliver, who kind of does a don't ask kind of motion. You look back to Ramsden, and yeah, Mercy, maybe that thought stays with you as you think, wait, have these people's fates ended? Is it as simple as the Great Plan? Maybe does it account for the undead? I mean, clearly there's evidence in front of you that this seems to exist outside of that. Is that wrong? Bray, you rest, you sleep. I don't know if you sleep. Maybe you're limit testing. Maybe you're just coming to terms with your newfound lack of particular heartbeat. But it does dawn on you that if you weren't leaving before, you are definitely not leaving now.
Well, why would I? This place is so great.
You know, and why would you want to? That's
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah, you start to look upon everything in Varsala with like wide eyes. Like, wow, this stone is beautiful. These people here, I just want to defend them.
I'm gonna, before I go to bed, I'm gonna make another chance with Seraph and see if I can take him back to my room.
Yeah, all right. You make a general charisma roll. I mean, he's serving up shop. He's writing letters. What is it? Let's have it.
He comes over to Seraph and he's like, "Hey, so
Hey.
Hey, Sam. How's it going? And he totally gets Seraph's name wrong as he tries his opening spiel because he rolls a natural one.
Yeah, so I was just writing a report to General Montague about what you guys were up to, and then I heard that I don't actually need to send it because you're already dead, and the Wavecaller handled it personally.
Yeah.
That really sucks for you, man. But not really.
Yeah. And
How do you feel about that? He just seems more interested in asking you about what's happened tonight than particularly affected, and he just like has a very casual conversation with you. Eventually, he looks at kind of grandfather clock in the corner and says, "You should probably be getting to bed. You do still need sleep."
I see. All right. And then like after like a good like 15-20 minutes of Bray constantly trying to like slip in casual like, hey, let's go back to mine kind of chat, and constantly getting like kind of battered away by Seraph and led back into other types of conversation, he eventually returns to his room alone.
As you're heading out, he does call out often and say, "Like I said, I'm kind of busy with reports, but I don't know, next week, next month, you're not exactly short on time, so I'm always here."
True. And he goes to bed.
Yeah, Morty, obviously, undeath doesn't sit particularly well with you. This is a different way of interacting with it. I don't know how you feel as you go to bed.
I think Modi would actually take a detour to maybe Mercy's room and just kind of, as he came in, just be sitting there, kind of pondering to himself and thinking, I have questions that I can't answer myself.
So as you come in, Mercy's shredded the nice sheets, the cloth, anything there, and he's busy sitting there, and he's like got a piece of stick, and he's trying to like weave these various shredded pieces of clothing together, and probably the carpet, the rug, whatever. He's starting from scratch, so he looks up as you come in.
Well, he's just trying to make a tapestry, but like
Basically.
out of random shit.
Yeah, exactly.
This place is an affront to everything that we know. It's not right. It's against everything that makes sense, but I feel like I've never seen anything so powerful. If this dread emperor can stand against the gods themselves to change what should be, we must be in the most danger that we've ever been in before. I was not prepared.
There is nothing more powerful than the gods.
Well,
The gods we've
at
determined
least that's what I thought.
fall. There is no There is nothing that is not already written.
Then what do you see about this place?
These islands were meant to come to this end. And in some way, that end is also meant to end.
Do you know when?
I wish I did. This is an abomination. Filled with abominations.
Do we fight it, or do we leave? The cost of losing years, I don't know, serving as some sort of a vassal for forever. But at the same time, I feel like I can't just leave this place and pretend that it never happened.
Would you do me a favour? A
He
boon,
looks up.
I ask.
Sure. What do you need?
If the worst were to happen, you must promise that the same will not befall what is of me.
Yes, and likewise.
And likewise.
I've already lived enough lives. I do not wish to live another one a slave to some unholy god of death.
Bray is already changing the destinies of those around him. Yet he has no destiny. He is an aberration. A thing which shapes the future that has no future. Its past is written and is to be remembered, honoured, and ultimately forgotten.
Ray, you sneeze, someone is definitely shit talking you.
Your ear is hot, and you just keep sneezing.
This
I can't believe I
place
died and developed a dust allergy.
Yeah, and your allergies just come on in the weirdest times, huh?
Yeah.
In
Well.
exchange, you receive undead immortality and allergies.
Our best rest up, and you too. Find some time to sleep.
Fear I
We'll
will
need our
find
energy for tomorrow.
I will find no rest in this place, but what rest there is, I'm sure we will need.
The Modi leaves on that line.
Modi, before you go,
Hmm?
fear not. Trust in the great plan. That the sun will shine again on Varsala, as it did.
Kind of takes a deep breath, and you can sense the hesitation in his overall demeanor, and he nods and just doesn't even reply. He just leaves. Like he wants to believe, but he also, he has doubts.
Mm-hmm. And on that note, Arim, do you rest tonight? You have a room to yourself. It's lovely, actually. It's one of the furnishings are just things you could just wish you could take with you were you going anywhere afterwards.
Yeah, Arim, he's probably, I think after such a close brush with authority, probably thinking slightly wiser of just robbing the place up. But certainly, if there are those little mini soaps, if there's a surplus, he'll be taking one of those. Any kind of like travel toothbrush, or those kind of complimentary toothbrush.
Your
they'll certainly
slippers?
come.
You got a really soft dressing gown, like really soft and kind of warmed as well. You don't know what magic it is, but it's kept on this slab that just seems permanently warm. So when you slide into this dressing gown, you just feel toasty.
Yeah, in fact, he probably doesn't even engage with the luxuries a great deal. He admires them and probably nods approvingly, but he doesn't sleep on the bed. He sleeps under the bed. Like this. He's someone that by default, by socialization, by his life, chases riches, but wealth itself is a bit, like. I'm extremely wealthy one minute and I've spent it all, I lost it all the next. Just doesn't really have much of a concept of that sort of thing. So he generally sleeps with a very clean conscience, not one to worry too much, unless there's immediate danger to worry about, like if there's the sound of wolves at the edge of the camp. So he probably rests quite easy, spends some time meditating, sat in the center of the room, where around him, and in fact he'll probably take one of his alms bowls as a monk, lay out in front of him, cast into it some darkness, and the slow darkness swirls gently in the bowl as he meditates in front of him. That's how he spends his evening.
Cool. Clean conscious is not something that maybe Lucifer reflects. And maybe there is one thought that sits in your mind, I think. If only I was stronger. I need more power so that shit doesn't happen again. Maybe you feel a little motivated tonight. I don't know.
Yeah, Lucifer probably lets that feeling gnaw at him. And that guilt very quickly goes to how it could have been prevented. He probably spends much of the night sharpening his sword, practicing. Probably doesn't care if he just hits into some of the walls, causing some carvings and cuffs. Maybe in a little bit of introspection as to whether there was anything more he could do. He might wander out of the room, take a few steps towards Bray's room with a sword slightly half-sheathed, and sighs and probably turns back round and goes back. And eventually maybe falls asleep.
Okay. And Osiris. How does our sunny old paladin spend the evening?
I feel like Ozra spends a majority of the evening praying. I think that it has now hit him that he is in a lot more of a serious situation than he originally thought. And he needs time to rethink his priorities.
Okay. And as you go to sleep, you hope that you are being listened to and that your words reach from here. And as you all settle down to rest, your first night in Varsala, a lot has happened today. We will go to a break. Hello!
Hello.
We're back! Okay, the group continue their shenanigans on the Dread Isles. Only Bray is dead now. Rest in peace, or do not rest, because he popped back up and all is good. So, you guys have rested. You are ready to go into the Divine Vault, the 6th vault of the repositories of Varsala, the legendary holster of divine and magical objects, to fix a problem for the good people of Varsala, the capital of the Dread Isles. They have told you that there is something inside of this place that is disrupting their delicate necromantic ecosystem. You have been tasked with entering the vault, finding whatever it is, and getting rid of it. You have been told that as the 6th vault, it corresponds to the 6th division of the world of Lakai, which corresponds to the Abyss. You have been warned potentially there might be some abyssal shenanigans going on down there. They're not really sure. There might be monsters, there might be traps, but there's also probably going to be a lot of stuff for you to loot. So, with that in mind, you are awoken the next morning, expecting to meet General Montague. As far as you are aware, you will be escorted to the vault by your guardsman, Colifer. I will say you meet kind of down in the entrance hall to the hotel, where Seraph is behind his concierge desk rather than the bar at this time in the morning, shuffling papers about and giving you all cordial waves. Cole is waiting for you also, and seems ready to whisk you away into a carriage. Is there anything you would like to discuss or do before you head into your vault delving?
We got supplies that we want?
You have what you brought in with you.
We ordered a bag of holding.
Okay.
Has it made itself known to us?
Oh, of course, your tailored garments. Yeah, also waiting for you is a clothes rack on wheels. Really beautiful garments in traditional Varsalan wear. Lots of like kind of ruffled, some of it's lace, some of it's just sort of stiffened ruffles, edged on these really like neatly made silk things. They look like exactly the right size for you. They cover the breadth of size and frame of the party. Quite pale sort of colours, pale blues, pale pinks, greys, whites. Dusty sorts of colours, pearls sewn in details, quilted details with little like pearl centres everywhere, pearl buttons, very nice. And a bag of holding.
Do any of the outfits provided have the Dread Emperor's insignia on it? That would be in Bray's size.
No, but there are, however, some pieces of jewellery. So rings with a kind of emblem of the Dread Isles, which carries his insignia. A kind of necklace piece, kind of beaded with pearls and kind of dripping almost with like small diamond potentially, or at least sparkling crystal. That has some elements of the insignia that remind you of him.
I'll take a couple of those and incorporate them into my outfit then.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Bray puts a bunch of jewelry on. Yeah, the rest of you have your free... Also some shoes, some pretty nice shoes, long boots, all good. Yeah, Seraph kind of waves at them and says, yeah, I don't know what you want to do with them, but it's all yours for the taking. They can wait till you get back. If you need to meet anyone formal in the city, I guess they're just here.
Mercy will change into his. There.
Yeah.
Hers.
Ozrus immediately guns for the bag of holding, and he just starts to like grab clothes and shoes and jewelry that it looks like no one else is interested in, or that might be like more his size. I mean, he leaves stuff there, but he is taking way more than it seems like he needs. And he's just like shoving it in the bag. He's just like a lot more peppy than the night before. And he's just like going from place to place, like grabbing whatever he can and shoving it in the bag of holding. Probably stuff that was maybe already in the hotel room that doesn't belong to him as well. And he's like swinging past like the tables downstairs as he like makes his way out. If there's any food, he's just gonna have like a roll like just shoved in his mouth, and like in one hand the bag of holding, like under his arm a pair of shoes, and it's just like grabbing maybe like other bits of like cold meats or whatever is on display or is available. Maybe not even from something that's been given to the group. If there are any other people in the hotel that are just having their meal, he might just walk past their table and just grab their food. And he sees Colitha, and if Colitha isn't doing anything specific, he's gonna walk up and greet him with a good morning.
Morning, Ozrus. How did you sleep?
I slept really good, actually, surprisingly, considering what happened last night. But I'm glad that Bray's okay, even if Bray is not quite the same as he was 24 hours ago. But that's fine. And he's just like talking and like with this piece of bread still in his mouth. So like, it's up to you how much Colitha actually hears of that.
Okay, yeah, he nods as though he's listening, but maybe is either not interested in responding or just can't understand what you're saying to respond. He occasionally says, yeah, shame. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He stops for a moment and he drops the shoes he's carrying on the ground. He takes the bread roll out of his mouth and looks at Colitha and says, question, actually. When you said that General Montague killed you, how did you come back to life? What did that look like?
I remember a lake. I remember I met him, the Emperor, and not much more than that. I reawoke. I was fine. The others that were here with me, he trails off. I was the only one brought back.
Wow, sounds like such an experience. So, when you're talking about you guys not being able to go into the vault, why is that? Why is it only outsiders? I assume it's got something to do with the fact that you're dead and most of us now aren't.
Yeah, the longer you spend here, your bodies get used to the magic here. When you stepped off the ship, most people have effects. They become sick, they become weaker, slower. It weighs on them a little, and after a while you acclimatize. It settles into you. Once that's happened, I suppose, for the purpose of whatever barrier stops you from going in, it's too late, you can't enter. Your friend
So-
Bray will be an interesting case.
So the vault isn't actually part of this island then? I mean...
No, it isn't. It is and it isn't. It's, I think, extraplanar. I mean, the General understands it better than I do, but no, it's not really under his purview.
I see.
Why?
Well, I'm packing supplies, so if there was something specific we needed, then I thought I'd ask.
Yeah, it's good to be prepared. Yeah, I wish you the best, I really do.
Insight check.
Yeah, go for it.
$17. He's in particular, because I mean, Colitha seems like he's being mostly fairly genuine, but like Ozrus is trying to gauge how much information is being like freely shared with him, whether he's holding stuff back, whether he's like trying to make me feel like everything's gonna be okay, or like how much of this is being sort of like sugar-coated.
Yeah, so yeah, he does feel pretty genuine. I think with a 17, like, you know that you make him really uncomfortable with your friendliness. He just, as a person, he just can't handle it. But despite that, he does seem like he's earnest when he's talking to you and when he says he wants the best for you. In terms of what he's sugarcoating, yeah, I mean, it feels like he's definitely holding back on maybe, I think, when he told you his story of how he was resurrected, that felt like he was probably hanging back on some things that he, maybe emotionally didn't feel ready to face himself. And in terms of talking about just wishing you luck in the vault, I think maybe he's you get concern somewhat.
Ooh, and one more question. Has anyone actually survived going in and coming back out?
No. No, they haven't.
Has anyone come out in any shape or form, dead or alive? Well, dead or kind of dead.
No. Anyone we've sent in has not come back out. Those of us we've sent in from here have vaporized on contact with the barrier.
I see. Well, that's going to be a challenge. Looking forward to it. Thanks, Colitha. And he goes looking for more food around the hotel.
Yeah, there's like a full spread of breakfast buffet, by the way. It's like full continental, everything you could want. Like, it's good. It's tasty.
Actually, DM, just a question. What happens when you put food into a bag of holding? Like, does it keep or...
I think it keeps, right? Because there's no air in there, so there's no oxygen for any bacteria to breathe and reproduce, and... Yeah... Well...
Okay, that's fine. Despite whether or not... I mean, even if things, like, rot the same time as they do outside of the bag of holding, Ozrus is still gonna, like, rip open his bag of holding, or not actually rip it, but, open his bag of holding. He's gonna put it against the edge of the table, and he's just gonna get his arm and just, like, scoop as much as he can in the way of, like, breads and stuff into it.
If anyone is near Seraph at this point, as he watches Oswald do this, you just hear him mutter, "Oh man, I can't wait to send this bill to House Montague." But nobody stops you. You seem to have fairly free reign, hijacking whatever you want. You are watched with hateful eyes, by the way, from who you recognize to be the woman whose arcane capture device you broke yesterday. She watches you with thinly veiled disdain. Maybe you stole her pastry this morning. Maybe you didn't.
He just waves at her.
Shakes her head and returns to her coffee. So,
Areem,
yes.
not really been engaging with people much. He's been continuously drinking water. And not like glugging it, but like, very calmly just sipping through. Wow, that's like 6 pint glasses. A few minutes go past. The guy's on like 12. He's putting water away as if some kind of bear needing to hibernate.
And the rest of you. I assume you're all gathered, your preparations are made as you want them, and you are ready to abscond?
Do I have any time to make a quick solo trip to the magical item store that we passed?
Yeah, you certainly can.
And I mean, I assume Ozrus was up pretty early to get food and stuff. Like, can I just do a quick detour and try and not sort of like make anyone late or anything?
Yeah, you can certainly take a quick trip down to Traders Plaza. It's open, you know, the fountain looms in this plaza as it did yesterday. The magical item store, so this is probably there are two. There's Calaman and Grey, which seems to be generic magical items, and Poor Unfortunate Souls, which seems, when you look at it specifically, to be pearls and magical gemstones.
What was the first one, sorry?
Calaman and Grey, so generic. Well, your general magical item short, kind of generalist.
Okay. He's gonna go into that one first.
Mm-hmm.
And look to see if anyone's like manning the front desk.
There is an individual, grey of skin and bald, save for a very crisp mustache on his upper lip. He's wearing kind of silk robes, tied at the waist in a sash. And he looks up and says, "Yes, good. Welcome to Calaman and Grey. I am Grey. How can I help you?"
Hi, I had a couple of questions. I'm maybe interested in buying some items. I'm looking for some gifts for my friends, and maybe even a man that's been escorting us very kindly. We're actually tourists. We're looking for some interesting items to take back home. I just had one thing I wanted to ask first.
Yes, what is your budget, friend?
Oh, probably about 60,000 gold. But before I go into that, before I actually buy anything, do teleportation items work here?
Ah, a pertinent question, yes. I regret to inform you that no, it is ill-advised that a teleportation spell is attempted within the grounds of the Dread Isles. This is institutionally created to protect ourselves from outward harm. You would need to sail beyond the fog in order to teleport out.
So what you're saying is no item, spell, anything of the sort would work, even within the Dread Isles?
Not unless you had express blessing from the Emperor himself, I believe. No, it wouldn't. You could, of course, teleport between factions places on the Dread Isles if you fancied a jaunt down to Orakai or Tolvici. But no, you couldn't leave. Why? I'm afraid you'll have to brave the sea trip yourself, my friend.
Well, actually, it's not really, we're loving it here. It's very nice. We're just going to the vault, we're a group that's... So I was just wondering if we were to go into the vault, whether there would be any way of coming back to this lovely place, because we don't ever want to leave.
Familiar with the workings of the Divine Vault, I'm afraid. I know very little about it. I would imagine that it's on the Dread Isles, isn't it? You couldn't teleport in or out. No.
I see. That's disappointing.
All the trinkets you wanted for your friends?
Show me the best thing that you have in your shop right now.
The best thing I have in my best is a subjective word, isn't it? And he kind of walks back to the shelves, and maybe he pulls out an amulet, decorated in multicolored, glittering stone. Yes, I think. Yes. This is an amulet of domination. If you're into that.
I mean, potentially, could you explain what it does?
Speak only the name of the individual you wish to serve you, and they will be enthralled. They will be under your control. Effectively, player, this casts the Dominate Person spell. Dominate Monster, in fact. Sorry, it's the good version.
Dang.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't think I really need a trinket to do this for me, so that's a bit disappointing, I'm gonna have to say. It was really nice looking around your shop, but you can't help me if there's no teleportation available. I don't think from an aesthetic standpoint I'm really finding what I'm looking for, so I'm gonna go into the shop next door. Bye. And then he just leaves.
Have a very good day, friend. I'll see you soon.
And I probably won't go into the next shop. I will probably just make my way back.
I see. All good. Yeah, I mean it's pretty busy this morning. People coming out of the hotels, merchants setting up stalls. Your average kind of market square at this point. So, with preparations done and food stolen from the buffet, Colotha kind of indicates to the carriage and says, "Right, well, let's go. Let's get this done." And you are taken up the long, winding ascent. Again, it's an hour, the full way from bottom to top. The windows, again, you are shuttered. You can't look out of them. Curtained, rather. And I imagine you kind of sit in silence. Are you chatting on the way up?
Just so I can get a sense, like, how are people treating Bray now? Like, they've had a night to sleep on it. He's clearly resurrected somehow, a little bit undead. Are people, like, refusing to meet his eyes? Like, are they kind of walking a little bit further away from him? Like, what's going on?
If anything, Modi is more interested in you. He keeps asking questions, like little questions, and like he won't chase them up often. He'll just kind of ask a question about like how you're feeling, or like how does something make you feel, and just go like, when you give an answer, and then just no more than that.
Well, yeah, Bray will just be honestly answering all of your questions,
Yeah, exactly.
just like kind of like
Probably doesn't
yes,
notice
yeah.
at all these being effectively psychoanalyzed. The entire
No.
Mercy would just be staring at Bray.
Osris. Oh, you're gonna ask about Ayim?
No, go ahead.
That's fine. No one cares.
I do care.
No, Osris, he isn't treating Bray like any different. As far as Osris is concerned, nothing has changed, and he's still not acknowledging that there is anything wrong with you. The only maybe difference is that some of the food that he's just like haphazardly stuffed into his pockets and into his bag of holding, he is offering to you
Oh, that's nice.
in an effort to make you feel more comfortable.
Can I eat food as
Yeah.
whatever I am?
Yeah, you don't look at it and think you shouldn't.
Nice. Okay, I will.
You saw
eat
Colotha
food
having
offered.
cocktails yesterday, so.
Oh, perfect. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll gladly eat the food that Osiris offers to me. What about Arim?
Arim's treating you just the same. If anything, when he's kind of like, it's all right, guys, it's time to move, and he's like maybe marshalling people a little, he just kind of gives you a little thumbs up on a question, like, "You all right? You good?" It's kind of thing. That's it. Just checks in every occasion.
Oh, that's sweet. Like your friend who's like had a concussion, and you're like,
Yeah, exactly. Like, you all right?
Meanwhile, Mercy does something beating the shit out of his party member.
it's fine. We all have different reactions. Cool. All right. Good to know.
Alright.
Good to know. Yeah. So Bray will just be answering Maudie's questions and eating the food that Osiris gives him as we head up towards the vault.
Okay. You pass your journey by in relative comfort. Nothing seems to happen on the way up. There are no distractions, no further explosions. And you come to a halt at the summit of Varsala. As you step out from the carriage, you can see, looking out into this vista from the top of the city, the great expanse of white stone. It's maybe kind of mid-morning. And again, from here, you can actually see the veil of mist that you seem to not be able to see in the city below. And it seems to cling to the white stones and streets like a funeral shroud. It is quiet up here. There's not another person in this plaza, in fact. It feels very, very different to the market's plaza below. You can see from up here cathedral spires and towers dotted throughout the city, kind of reaching up towards the sky and piercing through the fog, almost like they're trying to escape from like this oppressive mist that sits on the city. And the air's heavy up here with a sense of quiet, and you just watch it sort of swirl and writhe with this otherworldly green energy that occasionally just kind of darts across the surface of the city, like a blanket. There is only maybe the sound of footsteps echoing off the stone from behind you, which signals General Montague himself arriving. And maybe you also hear faint whispers up here that sort of seem to come from nowhere in particular at all. Also very notably up here in this plaza sits the great grand cathedral. I think it was mentioned to you yesterday as Varkara. It is absolutely vast. And like, if its unfathomable size did not already give away the fact that it wasn't made by human hands, like every inch of the edifice is carved in stonework so intricate it's sort of dizzying. There is not a kind of millimeter out of place. It is very, very perfect, just so like every curve is like calculated and perfectly executed. The white stone itself of the cathedral kind of intermingles with like more pale marbles, like turquoise, pinks, etc. But the whole building gives off this like luminous glow from no obvious source other than its own stone. This place feels immensely magical. There are no kind of pennants or banners. It just sits looming vastly large over this plaza. And the general approaches, though you can hear his footsteps, are very quiet for a man of his size. And he stops before you. Could you all make some inside checks for me, please? Eight.
9.
12, not very impressed.
2.
16.
So beautiful.
18,
Something
16.
about him.
Yeah, 18 and 16. He looks pretty tired, actually. Yeah, he does not look like the most rested individual ever. And his eyes certainly linger on Bray, as he looks to all of you and says, "Well, I'm glad you've made it. How did you sleep?"
Pretty good. Thanks for putting us up in that nice hotel. Beds were comfy.
Yes, the floor was very soft.
Why were you sleeping on the floor?
Did Seraph not give you a room? I'm sorry.
Yes, it had a marvelous floor.
I will speak to him later. My apologies.
If you wish.
Good, well, let's get this over and done with. This way. And he leads you into Varkara. You come into this huge entry chamber to this cathedral. Every kind of surface inside is decorated in mosaic, in gilding. The pews are kind of this deep, rich wood that's all carved. And in the center of this grand antechamber is a spiral staircase set into the ground that seems to spiral downwards. There are quite a few guards posted inside wearing similar armor to Colitha's, as decorated, as resplendent, as many plates. These all seem to be the more trusted upper echelons of the guard. and they all kind of give a salute as General Montague walks past with you. He explains a little as he walks with you into the vault. He says, "So, the Divine Vault of Varsala sits in the heart of its cathedral, Valkara. It is in the city, and it is not at the same time. It is technically built into the mountain, but the vault exists in its own planar space, and the world around it is rippled to follow, insofar as you could try and dig a tunnel laterally from the side of the mountain and you would never reach the vault. It is only accessible through this channel here," and he kind of indicates down to the staircase. "We have obviously tried to enter through different means and found no success in doing so, so rest assured this is the only way in and the only way out. I've told you, I think, everything I can, but if you have any questions, now would be the time to ask." And as you kind of are led down the staircase, it remains very, like, intentionally built. It's not like he's leading you down into cellars. It stays like polished white stone, polished marble the whole way down. It's lit with torches, and eventually it opens out into this large circular chamber underground. Maybe you've walked down the stairs for 10 minutes. You feel like you've come quite a long way down. This circular chamber has a great kind of opening in the center of it, which is just a chute that heads straight downwards. At the bottom of which you see flickering green light, which sort of fills the space. Around the edge of this chute is a wide walkway, again mosaic and paved. The railings are in gold, and around 12 doors that sit at the edge of this walkway. 10 of them are open. 2 of them are not. And you recognize these must all be corresponding to the 12 divisions of the world of Lakai. And quite ostensibly, the 6th division, which you have been bid to enter, sits behind a wall of golden white. Light energy that just pulses and hums in this chamber. Specifically the barrier? Make an Arcana check.
Can I ask a similar?
18? No, I don't think so. I think seeing a wall of magic, like, maybe you've heard wizards putting up, like, impenetrable walls, forces and stuff, but you've never seen anything that looks like this.
Can I ask, like, a history kind of lore question? And,
Yeah.
like, given the history of, like, Sacramar and the kind of precedence of this cathedral, would I know what the origins of this building were if they weren't, like, mortal built? Like, are we talking like a giant made, or like something angelic or fiendish perhaps? Like,
Mystery check it, yeah.
who were the creators of this? Because then that might inform what they were building it for. 7.
7? No, I mean, I think you're aware that the previous folk in charge of Varsala and Sacramar, as the country was once known, were the Divine Order, the Golden Order rather, and you know, to most of your knowledge, they were mortal men that lived and breathed. You know, a lot of magic in that order. Maybe it was magic built.
But so the island, as it was before, wasn't like a place of particular pilgrimage for certain religions, or it wasn't like a magical sanctuary. It wasn't like what globally known for.
Well, no, I mean, it was globally known as a trading city. This place, Varsala, it was known for being somewhere that was actually quite calm, particularly after the second plane went missing. It being close to somewhere that actually was no longer aspected to any kind of plane at all. It was somewhere that was very devoid of extra planar effects. So it was generally found to be a place that people, and it's sort of why the order settled. It was a calm place and an easy place to do business.
And sorry, could you remind me who the Golden Order was?
I'll say, like, with a 7, it probably stretches your knowledge. You know that they were wealthy, that they were, they were in charge of Sacramar, that it was headed by the Praetor, the Divine Praetor of Sacramar. But, like, what exactly their order was about, like, what they worshipped, if anything, is probably beyond your knowledge, I think, for the 7.
Is it, like, religious, or, like, secular, or, like, a government, or, like a clan? What are we talking in broad terms?
You know that they governed.
They governed.
Yeah, but also this is 100 years ago, before this place fell, so it's been a very long time since anyone has paid much thought to the Golden Order.
Sure, okay, thanks.
So, you are led onto this walkway, and the general kind of looks down into this kind of chute. You can't see the bottom of this. It just seems to go on and on and on, this like flickering sort of green at the bottom. And he says, I wouldn't, well, not that you would, but don't throw anything down there. Don't stand too close to the railings. Wouldn't recommend it. You're probably okay, actually. And he looks over at Bray as he says that, but the rest of you, yeah, he looks and says, probably for the best that you don't trifle with what's down there.
Is he directing that directly at Bray, or is it everyone?
Generally telling people not to go too close, but says you'll probably be all right as he looks at Bray.
Oh, yeah, no, well, I'm pretty strong. As you saw in our duel the other day when I,
You did your best, yes.
I barely got a scratch.
He walks past and motions to the barrier on the 6th vault. There is one other vault in here that is closed. That is the 2nd. There are guards posted outside, but all the others are open doorways. And you can sort of see like antechambers behind them as well, guarded, all of them. And yeah, he stands in front of the 6th. And says, so, you should all be able to pass through this. Bray, I think you will be fine. If you are not, maybe go slowly and make sure it's not vaporizing your hand on the way in or anything.
Right. Okay.
Take the barrier down. So long as we can get in, all should be well. We don't know what's causing it. I suspect the disturbance, the barrier, it comes from one source. He sighs. I might as well say, look, 100 years ago, a man locked himself in there with a containment vessel, I will say, for power that he should not have had access to. I suspect that that vessel is what is causing this and has enabled him to maintain this barrier for 100 years. He himself has no right to have lived 100 years. I suspect he does not live still, but clearly the item that he carried is still in there and still causing problems. He and his followers will have died in there, but clearly its effects linger on like a bad smell.
And what of the 2nd? The vault over there?
The 2nd?
Why is that closed?
That has been closed since this place was built. I've never seen it open. But it doesn't cause any problems either. Nobody knows what's in there. None of us care to find out.
Insight check.
Yeah, you can insight check it.
22.
22?
Mm-hmm.
21.
21?
21.
He
Oh,
doesn't-
wait, sorry. Yeah. That's
He doesn't seem like he knows.
But does he seem like he cares?
Does it bother him?
No, but you said, oh, and no one cares to find out. That's
Oh,
what I'm-
right. Yeah, it seems like it's just not come up really. Like I think like it's pretty obvious that this one, the sixth vault, is causing problems. That's why they want to go in. But if the second is just kind of sat there, seems to be a bit of a like, well, it's not our problem. Maybe when we have some time, we'll think about it. But right now, it's whatever.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it feels like a side quest to him. That sort of energy.
Right.
Sort of like I'll just deal with that later. I don't care right now.
And what was the significance of this conjurer who wielded this item 100 years ago?
The individual who locked himself in there.
Yes.
He was a member of the Order, loyal to the previous ruler of this place. Very loyal. When he died, when he fell, he locked himself and a number of his sect away in there, hoping to escape, hoping to outlast us. 100 years later, I'd say his time is up.
Understood.
What this man, the nature of him and his followers? What can you say?
When you say nature, do you mean their capability or their personality?
Why not both?
Capabilities. Clerics for the most part, some of them fighters, some of them arcanists. Personality. Well, it's better off without them. Power hungry, egomaniac, greedy. No, they weren't good men. And they were also cowards, as shutting themselves away for a century might imply.
And you mentioned that they'd dabbled with abyssal magics, or this was what a lot of the nature of the vault in particular contained.
Not abyssal, no. What they stole, what they took in there, contained a fragment of something, a power they had no right to have. That's all it is. Power. Purest power. He couldn't control it. Maybe he could somewhat. He looks at the barrier. But it's not for him. And his eyes kind of like, I think maybe with a 21, 22, you can see his eyes wander over to the long, dark chute in the middle of the room when he talks about purest power. And like, you get the sense there's something you're not understanding here, and there's a context that he's probably not going to tell you, the way he talks about it. He's pretty guarded.
Well, unless there's more that you're willing to share about the puzzle that is this barrier, I think there's not much more to be gained by talking further.
No, that I will say is if you encounter that power, it's not meant for people. Probably best not to. Don't touch it, if you can help it. I'll be waiting here for the barrier to fall. With that, best of luck.
Alright, let's go in. Shall I go
It's about
first?
No, I don't think that's a good idea.
Why no?
time.
Where's danger, Bray?
Look, if I'm already dead, I can't be fucking killed again, so I may as well.
I wouldn't be so sure of that.
I'm gonna try it, and he's gonna march right over the barrier, and he'll kind of look at his left and right hands and be like, "Wait, which one do I want to keep?" All right, I'll stick my left hand in.
Alright, it's a little itchy. It's a little uncomfortable. It feels as though it's sort of like maybe you're putting your hand in water that is too hot. It doesn't feel like you're burning, but it's definitely uncomfortable as you push through it.
Can I take my hand back out? Is my hand okay? It just hurts.
Yeah, it's maybe a little red. Hurts a little bit, but it's not like vaporized or anything. And you can hear Colitha let out an audible sigh of relief from the side.
All right, he's gonna think for a moment, and then he's gonna like clap his hands together, and the similar to what you guys saw yesterday when like a crater like appeared around him of like energy just like bursting out from him. He's gonna enter a rage, and then he's gonna walk through the barrier.
Alright, you watch Bray walks through the barrier, the light swallows him and closes behind him, and you see nothing on the other side. The rest of you, are you going in?
Yeah, I guess Muddy follows.
Okay. You all enter?
Just before we go in, so we'll turn round. I presume there's a bubble all around. Surely you've tried it above and below.
Yes. We've tried to tunnel in, but this place isn't strictly on this plane from when we came down that staircase. It's under different rules.
Till next time, and I'll just walk in. Yeah.
Okay. You all push through this barrier into what is a foyer. Centrally, a grand chandelier. Let me pop y'all on the roll. 20.
Battle map, let's go.
A whole ass battle map. Most of this should be black. Let me know if you don't see anything at all, but there's a little room you should see.
Ah, yes.
Supportive vibes as Jamie has to change the battle map overlay.
We good?
You did
Oh,
it.
great success. He's so good at this.
If you drag the window
Um,
down a little bit so we crop off the names at the bottom, then we're good. You got this, Jamie.
You got this. Woo!
Easy.
um,
Great success.
okay,
Yay.
so this room is kind of like a waiting room. It gives you sort of like at a bank, right? Like this is the sort of place you'd imagine you'd have people in suits sat waiting for an appointment. There are comfy looking sofas either side, some tables. What's more strange to you is bodies line this room. They're not skeletons though, they're perfectly preserved. They look like they could have just lain down for sleep. Men, women with blank eyes, cold to the touch, but otherwise in perfect condition. Wearing white, trimmed in gold, silk which fits into a kind of golden yoke, like solid gold, draped in luxurious silks. These acolytes, you suppose, look wealthy. There were many, many rings, ear cuffs, neck pieces. This room also contains quite a lot of food, actually, set out on platters. Again, perfect condition, no sign of rot. You note also potted plants. Again, it's been 100 years, but they do not look in need of watering.
Can I go over to one of the bodies, the closest one, maybe
Yeah.
on the right, and just kind of tap it with my foot?
Yep, doesn't move.
kind of lean over, put my hand over the mouth. Is there a breath?
No, nothing at all.
Can I medicine check one of the bodies?
Yeah, you certainly can.
Can we hear
That's
anything?
a 18. Sorry.
Okay. So first of all, with the medicine check, with an 18, you're pretty confident they're dead. But you don't see anything that really gives away the cause of it. And actually, there's a strange sort of stiffness to their body, perhaps, that maybe goes beyond how well preserved this corpse is.
How do you mean stiffness?
Like, it almost feels like they're too sort of solid. Like, if you're checking them over, it's like the muscles are tensed and locked rather than relaxed in a deathly sort of state.
Does it feel a bit like maybe what like rigor mortis might feel like?
More than that. It feels like more than that. Lucifer, you asked what you can hear. Nothing. It's completely quiet. You can hear your own breaths.
What does the barrier look like from the other way? From the inside?
Same. Yeah, the same. Pure wall of white. White gold.
How do you feel, Bray?
Sorry, go ahead.
How do I feel, Claude?
Yeah, you feel like you've had a bucket of scalding water dumped on you, but you're not, like, burned. It doesn't feel like you've taken damage in the mechanical sense.
I feel a bit tingly, like I've just had a really hot bath, but otherwise, seem to be alright.
How do you feel about the Dread Emperor?
Oh, I love him. He's great.
Interesting.
Yeah. Did you know he's the most attractive man on the world?
I'm sure he is, as you've told me multiple times today.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm lucky, I'll never see him, but I'll take your word for it.
Oh, it would be such a shame if you pass without ever meeting him.
It is true, very, very
Yeah.
true. So, team, what's the plan now?
Reem's gonna go, well, it depends whether you're done messing around. You see dead bodies on the floor, and you go and walk around, you touch them. People, Thomas always forgot this. Tomasz always forgot. Check for traps, always. Especially when they are dying bodies.
I mean, they don't look particularly dead, although they are dead, I can confirm.
Well, maybe we can find out what happened to them by stepping on the wrong stone, and it happening to us too.
Well, I don't. He continues to kind of turn over one of the bodies when he's leaning down on top of it. I don't see any puncture wounds, any slashes, any damage whatsoever, actually.
Don't move any of the bodies. Touch them if you need to, but do not move them. That could be on a plate. It could be on a...
As you say that, Modi is literally opening the mouth of one of the bodies to check if there's like any sort of burn marks on the inside of the mouth or like throat from poison or gas or something like that.
DM, I would like to check for traps.
Yeah, investigation, please.
Oh no.
I'll give Areem the help action.
All right.
Does that mean he gets to roll of advantage?
Avantage, oui.
What happened out the back of that? Let's see. A glorious 6. It's actually not my forte.
You don't think there are any traps in this room?
I don't think there are any traps in
Wait,
this
do
room.
I
I
have-
don't think there are any traps in this room.
Hold on. I think I have fine traps.
It just,
I might
it's-
not do it.
You might want to avoid that spell.
Oh, does it not work?
It's
Hot garbage.
yeah.
Oh, well, I don't have it learned anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, good.
Let's not spend more time here than we must, Areem. Now that we're pretty sure that there are no traps in here, let's proceed.
I do want to talk while we are proceeding. Whatever is down here is essential to, I don't know, I guess the domination of these isles, maybe the domination of more. It's clearly stopping the Dread Emperor from doing something. So I'll be completely transparent and say whatever it is, we should use it against him.
I haven't very react to that.
Sorry, can you
How does
repeat?
Ray react to that?
Can you repeat what blasphemy you just said about my
Say that again,
camera?
punk.
No, can you
Your
repeat
Emperor
what you
is
said?
clearly not omnipotent. Otherwise, he'd control the Wavecaller, but she seems to have some sort of level of autonomy. And if it bleeds, it can be killed.
Oh, well, with
Oh, but of course, why would we want to kill it? I mean, you know, he's so perfect and brilliant, I would never want to kill him. But, you know, it's always good to have a backup, is it not?
exactly, Modi, that's what we like to hear. But anyway, the Dread Emperor is very benevolent, and he would quite happily let you do whatever you need to do as long as you're serving him. So, of course, the Wavecaller
And right
does
now,
what she wants.
we are serving him by looking for the source of this magic.
Yeah,
Are we not?
yeah, of course. That's right, right? Do I feel like any certain way about this?
So when Modi suggested earlier locating this item, whatever it is, and using it against the Dread Emperor, you were immediately like, yo, I'm gonna keep a fucking eye on that. That is not coming to pass. Whether you vocalize that, it's up to you. But that sounds very bad to you.
Yeah. Bray's very awkward response is very thinly veiled. Like, I'm trying to act cool about this, but my eyebrow is twitching like a lot, like while I'm like talking.
Yeah, Marty's keeping a close eye on Bray's reactions to everything that he says.
Ditto. Absolutely ditto.
Right. Right, Modi. We need power.
Well, we certainly do. We're definitely not strong enough in our current form to be able to do anything. So are we proceeding down the path?
Yeah. If you're down in this room,
Carefully. Stealthily, one might even say.
Did we check
Yeah.
the bods for equipment?
you want to check the bods. You can check the bods. Yeah, that is. Yeah, again, is an investigation.
Got the wrong character.
Yeah, rogue.
Oh, solid 2, baby.
Solid 2. Okay, you rifle
They're
through the
naked.
bodies. You don't find much of like money or fun stuff on them. I'll say like obvious to all of you though, is like these are scribes, right? There's a lot of writing implements and utensils. And it doesn't take like too much looking around to be like, oh, these guys were writing stuff at the time when they
Can
died.
we have a look at what language that writing is in? Is it
Mm.
something that I might recognize or be able to decipher?
Yeah, you can. I think this is an intelligence check.
Is it just standard intelligence?
Mhm.
I'm not very smart. That's a shame.
I'll
Yeah,
give
I'm
it
not very
up, actually.
smart. That's a standard 4.
4?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really tell. It looks like scribbles and scrawls. There's like one particular book that you like. There's loads of just like bits of paper. There's a book, all of them written in the same sort of script, but you have no idea what that's meant to be. Like occasional words make sense to you, like days, cannot.
Modi holds it up to the group. Anybody make sense of any of this?
Can I make sense of it?
You can take a look. You think like as you flick through, you think that probably it might take you a little bit of time, but you could sit through and like try figure it out. There are words that are in common. You think it might actually be a matter of like code and shorthand.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, like, what language are they speaking? But if it's just, like, a type of common, then... Yeah, then...
So it's a type of common, but it's like incomprehensible.
Yeah, will take you time. You think?
Hmm.
So you could
Wow.
you could choose to spend maybe like 20 minutes trying to decipher and get through it.
I mean, Modi immediately makes it obvious that he thinks it's a good idea to attempt to try and learn the madman's writings. see what he has to say about this place.
Okay.
He expresses that to the group as a beneficial way before proceeding. That 20 minutes is but a small amount of time to be prepared.
Okay. So make who are you giving this to?
I don't know who's gonna be the best off for reading it. When he asked openly, like, you know, that's an open ask to the party. Who is capable of reading and deciphering? Who's the smartest among us?
This feels like a brain problem to you, yeah.
I thought you were about to say it's a Bray problem, and I was like, sign me up.
It certainly is
Bray,
not
a
a brave
known
problem.
reader.
It may be many things, but it is not a brave problem.
Look, just because I can't spell my name doesn't mean I can't read books.
Who has the highest int? Are we not? We just a really low int party across the board. Oh yeah, that's a fucking shame.
right.
Isn't it?
Yeah, got one.
Ozyrus is quite smart. He's always studying and trying to be a paladin, so...
Has Ozyrus got decent int? Maybe even the occasional spell to be able to decipher text? Maybe?
I don't think he has a spell to decipher text, but he does have a solid 16 out of 20 intelligence.
Okay, cool. Alright,
Wait,
then he just hands it to Ozyrus in this case. What do you make of this?
So this is a book, so give me an intelligence.
I swear to God, if our entire party is too dumb to read a book.
We don't know what language it's in, right? Sorry.
It's
So
in
it's in
common,
common.
but like a sort of shorthand. It feels like this is like a pattern problem.
I have proficiency in history. Can I give the help action to Ozyrus?
Oh, you can give an help action, yeah.
I have proficiency in religion. Is that
Advantage.
going to be
As
useful?
somebody accustomed to scrolls and...
Yeah, between us, you could give advantage.
Okay. Ooh.
Oof. What was it? I didn't see.
6?
I
Okay.
rolled a 3, so...
Okay, so with the reading, like, you maybe get through about half of it in your 20 minutes.
Did you roll with advantage?
Oh, no, I didn't. Is that what the action gave me?
Help action does, yeah.
12.
12? Okay, yeah, with the 12, it's you get through most of it. You think there are still a few bits left at the end undeciphered. With your 20 minutes, you get through multiple pages. There seems to be a record of the days that they spent in here, a diary of sorts. Day 1 starts saying, "Let here be a record of our days. Arbiter Harkness has taken a small contingent of his faithful, and we have made ourselves safe in the 6th repository. They cannot get in. We will not be harmed here so long as the vessel protects us." It goes to the 2nd day. "My resources to record our days are limited, but I must reflect in written form. To have lost the Praetor in this way when we were so close, it is more than I can bear." Day 3. "My eyes are worn. I know I am not alone in this suffering. It is great stress we are under after all. The light clings to us sometimes. It is protecting us. The Arbiter has descended to the Great Vault to pray." Day 4. "A kind of stiffness has come upon me. I feel stronger, I think. I wonder when they will come for us. I think we will win. The light is growing, seeping through the floors. I do not understand. The Arbiter will not answer us any further." And beyond this, you think it will take more time to get more out of it.
My best guess is the vessel is in this great vault he speaks of.
I'll put that includes Boogaloo chat. There you go.
Looking around, is there like the light that he was talking about?
Yeah, make a perception check. I hate how often DMing the perception check just feels like the right check to make. You just make so many.
Oh,
I think
perception.
I think someone said it's like perception is passive and investigation is like active. I don't know if that is like.
I always feel like
thing.
perception is like you're looking with your eyes, your senses, and then investigation is like you're rifling through clues and using your hands. And...
Yeah, I guess that's to make like investigation not feel like it's used about a tenth of the time as perception is.
Yeah.
I rolled a
21. Nice.
21. Okay, wow, yeah. Natural 20. This place does feel brighter than it should by all rights. There is no source of light, in fact. This is something that you note, but it is still bright somehow. There are no torches, there are no windows, but it is illuminated. And occasionally, tracing the floor, you see like winding little rivulets of white gold that just sort of race along the marble.
He relays that to the party.
I don't usually see much to
There are
say,
no
mister.
torches here. No windows, no nothing. Yet it's so bright.
So, as,
Light to
as
speak
Marty,
of it's. Sorry, go on.
sorry, as Marty points that out, could Mercy try and catch one of these rivulets?
Yeah, you can try. Make a sleight of hand. Yeah, dex. Yeah,
maybe
dex,
he
just flat
borrowed
dex.
like a pot or something from Arim or some sort of container. Sleight of hand. 13.
13. Your hand sits atop it, and it just passes straight through. It just seems to continue on. It doesn't seem to. It seems to almost be like inside the floors, almost.
Right. Okay.
Like it's being conducted.
Yeah, he would say much that to.
And actually, like as you put your hand down on it, it almost like circles your hand as though it's like. Almost as though it's attracted to it somewhat, and then dart on off.
And does it look more like light or more like molten metal?
Light.
Well, shall we press on, or do we wish to spend more time?
I don't think there's much more to learn here.
You've
Should
got
press on.
yeah, there are a few passages left undeciphered in the book. You think it should require more time. Can I get like general wisdom from the party?
Not at all. Never.
17. General wisdom. Actually, we're quite a wise party.
Yeah, you're a very wise party.
We're just a very not so smart party.
Common
I
sense should be bread and butter here.
I have a -1, however, I rolled a 19, so that wasn't so bad. 18
8.
total.
Yeah, well, I have a +3 and I rolled a 2, so.
I'm a +3. I rolled a.
Just a 12 for me.
Okay.
I've got a 4.
Got 17.
From what you were told in this journal, right? It sounds to you as though over time the light, whatever it is, was clinging to them. They spoke about some physical symptoms appearing. It makes you a little nervous, perhaps, that maybe there was something ambiently unsafe about this place.
Unsafe, like as in like the light is the source of the unsafeness.
But clearly something happened to these people. They are now dead, right?
Yeah.
And stiffened and preserved.
Okay, so quick with the journal. Obviously, it's like day by day, right?
Yeah.
Does the writing look like it becomes more like the handwriting? Does it become more erratic or anything as the journey progresses, or is it just kind of consistent across the days and then just stops at some point?
If anything, it's the opposite. The words become fewer as the days go by. The lines are straight. There's no fluidity to them.
So it becomes like shorter.
There's less of it, shorter and shorter, and
but
then-
tidier. And like,
I mean,
that's
assuming the reason behind that is because if this person is talking about stiffness, they can no longer move their arm.
yeah, but if they couldn't
Right.
move their arm, then the handwriting would be like really shit, wouldn't it? Like, you imagine trying to fucking write a book when your hands don't work. You'd look like you'd start writing like a 2-year-old after a while. So, like, if the handwriting, if it just, that means that they just kind of like, they still had motor function, they just slowly died. Just became more and more, like, kind of, I don't know, depressed, and then just eventually gave up. I don't
know. It depends on how much care this person is taking to write. I mean,
they're a scholar, I assume a decent amount. Maybe I'm assuming too much, I don't know.
Isn't it obvious? It seems as if by staying here, maybe you become slower. Maybe you stop altogether. Maybe this, and he gestures to the bodies, this happens.
But over a very long time, at least multiple days, so we have a while.
We do not know how far we have to go.
That is true. But somehow I feel safer in this place than I do outside it.
If we reach a point where we are looking for answers and there is no other obvious solution, then perhaps we can return to consulting the journal. But there is a passageway in front of us that perhaps it may yield more clues than this book.
And this passageway is blocked by high, in fact, of furniture. So clearly they've taken some of the benches from the side. The little tables have set out for themselves and just piled in front of a kind of barricade.
Is it possible to get over?
It's stacked pretty high, like water floor. It looks more like a bust through sort of thing.
Can I do some like karate or some sort of taekwondo and try and bust down a weak-looking portion of this barricade?
Yeah. You like smack through it, break it, and I'll say between your combined efforts as a party, you can kind of crack through. Whatever this was trying to prevent from entering, seems to kind of not be present. Let me just reveal the next chamber. This is like me versus Roll20, by the way. Me and this girl, we are not friends.
Maybe not the whole barricade, because we might possibly want to use it again if we need, but maybe we could do just like part of it.
Yeah.
Just
So
enough to
you,
get through.
So you shift it just enough, and you come into again a kind of large antechamber, in which you can see a central sort of platform, and 4 alcoves, each containing statues. And again, it's that same sort of like, everything is in really good condition, the plants look nice, there is no dust upon the floors, but more obvious, particularly after you spotted it before, just these ribbons of light dancing on the floor and occasionally lifting ever so slightly, so that they're kind of coming out into your space and then just snapping back down and continuing onwards on their path along the ground.
Is this blue thing, is it carpet or water?
That is me using a random indicator to indicate a kind of pedestal. And there is nothing in this space. Next to it, however, is a statue, you think, of a man. He kneels. And looking around the room, each of these statues in the alcoves appears to be potentially a paladin. You think they look like that type, like chest puffed, golden sort of shoulders, armored, large swords, very noble looking. And each has a plaque next to them.
DM, could I ask about the lighting in this place?
Yeah, all bright.
And the shadows.
Shadows? I mean, shadows are cast, but they seem like almost like slightly non-committal shadows, like they're being washed out. This place feels very, very light.
And it's lit by torches or just general lighting?
Ambient, like there is nothing to indicate a torch or a light source, and yet it is still bright.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
What happens? So Osris is gonna walk into this room. He's gonna realize there's a weird same kind of lighting without the source. And he is... Never mind. I forget. 5th level spells are not the same as being 6th level, so... I was excited to try and use some tiefling abilities, because I just remembered that I am in fact not a human this campaign, but never mind. I'm just stupid.
It's all good.
We know this. Sorry.
I was gonna say, Bray is gonna look at these statues kneeling. Does he get any sort of inkling that this kind of reminds him of swearing fealty to the Dread Emperor at all, or is it a different type of kneel?
No, and so there are plaques at the foot of these. This one in the center, the kneeling man, reads, "A knight of the order, he will rise."
Do all the plaques say this, or is it something else on each one?
No, so they all say different things. So they
Bray
say
will go around and try to. Actually, he can't read, so he's gonna grab Osiris by the arm as Osiris is kind of looking around, being like, and he's gonna say, "Oi, you, what does this say?" And he's gonna drag him over and make him read it out.
So, as the group reader, Osiris, you narrate, a beggar's loss in
I
life.
have not consented to this.
Oh, would you not like to read?
Aggressively pulling my character over to a...
But you'd read it for me, please.
He looks at the arm on his like forearm, grabbing him, and says, "Sorry, what was that, Bray?"
Will you read it for me, please?
Sorry, I didn't catch the end of it. Can you just say that one more time?
Please! And he, like...
And Osiris walks over, shaking the arm off his forearm, and reads the plaque.
Alright. Going round in order, you have a beggar's lot in life seems solid like stone, but give him what he needs to get through the day, and he shall thank you with grace. Heal his wounds, and he shall walk. Bring him a blade, and he will stand ennobled. And then the central one, now a knight of the order, he will rise.
Well, what does that fucking mean?
I'd assume some clue as to... There's no way out of this room, is there, or is there?
No, so there are 3 doors out of this room. One to the west, one to the east, and one to the north.
They're all shut.
They're all shut, yes.
And no obvious way to open them?
No obvious way to open them. And if you try, they seem locked shut.
I assume it's some way to get further in. Some riddle.
I think you're right.
Osiris, I think I might have an idea what the first plaque is indicating. I saw that you might have had a couple of rolls in your pocket. Do you have any spare bread that I could have, please?
Oh, yeah, sure. Which type of bread? Brown or white?
There's options.
There's also seeded
Multi-seeded.
or sourdough.
Wait, have you got Italian in there?
I'll
What's
take,
Italian? Baked crust. Stuffed crust.
I'll, if you can spare it, I'll take all of them. It may only need one, and I might be able to return some of them to you.
Okay. And he sort of puts his hand in the bag of holding, takes out probably the crustiest, worst looking brown bread that nobody really wants to eat, and he gives him one roll. He doesn't give him all of them.
You were gonna say like the end slice, the bit of the slice left that no one wants.
Yeah.
So coming over as Mercy takes it, he kind of raises an eyebrow. Could you not find the others? The
What
others.
others?
The other types of bread that you were talking about.
Oh, yeah, Why don't you try that one and I'll look for them?
Okay, not to worry.
He does not make any move to dig around his bag.
Can Mercy try and place? I don't know if there's a hand, like a slot, or like whether it's just to kind of put it on the altar type deal. But can he put the roll on the first altar?
Yeah, so in the middle, you've got like this empty sort of pedestal sort of bowl that the statue kneels beside and off to the side. The other pedestals around the corner don't seem to have any altars or anything.
Okay, fine. Then in the bowl.
Okay. You place the bread in the bowl, and the statue moves. And the kneeling one, rather, moves ever so slightly. He stretches. You kind of watch him make a move, his arms raised, and then he kind of looks a little... His pose looks a little looser.
He then takes out a healing potion from his bag. And puts the potion in the bowl as well. And if that doesn't do anything, then he'll uncork the potion and pour the liquid into the bowl.
Okay. As you do so, he stands and bows his head, you think in thanks, and walks. Steps up onto this pedestal, the top where you have kind of placed things, so it clambers into the bowl. And he stands and he doesn't look like he's trying to assume the pose of the guys around the corner, but it looks a little incomplete, is what you would say probably.
Needs
So-
a sword.
This is a statue, right? This is a big statue.
Yep, statue of a man.
He turns around and says to the rest of it, I'm afraid all I have is knives. Blades I do not carry on me.
Neither do I.
I've got a great axe. And, but I already gave my javelins to His Eminence earlier, so...
And you hear Arim sort of kind of complain under his breath, giving, we're always giving.
Think of
Oi,
it.
Lucy,
Right.
put your sword in there.
If only that was the first time you said that, bro.
Oi, we promised not to talk about that outside the bedroom.
Wow, that's a deep flaw.
Yeah.
What?
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 And unfortunately, this won't be the first time I refuse. The sword is bound to me. I cannot give it up.
Hmm. Well, who else in the party has a sword? I'm actually not sure what weapons everyone uses.
I will take out a dagger, put it in the bowl.
Okay, you put a dagger in the bowl.
Doesn't
I
do
have a
anything.
dagger, but it's small heavy tool. I can.
Okay. If nothing happens, I want to take it out.
Doesn't seem to do very much.
We remove one of the swords from the others.
You're a thief now, eh, Lucifer?
Why not?
You steal from the rich and you give to the poor, eh?
Stealing from the bronze. At the very least.
You want to try and steal one of the swords from the other knight statues?
No, does it look like it would come off?
They seem to be cast metal statues. Kind of, it looks like part of it.
Nobody has a sword except for me.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, Osros is gonna go put a sword on the fucking thing. If I end up weaponless because of you idiots, I'm gonna be so mad. You've taken my food, you've taken my fucking weapon.
A
Bends
single roll.
down and picks up the sword and rises. You watch as armor crystallizes onto him, and an emblem appears on his chest that you recognize from the bodies in the other room. The plaque extends from a Knight of the Order He Will Rise, and the light kind of swirls about his feet, in fact.
Jamie,
sorry,
you need
yeah.
to stop doing that.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh wow, yeah, we and the plaque changes from a Knight of the Order He Will Rise to a Divine Champion He Will Soar. And as the knight stands emboldened upon his central platform, the doors to the west and to the east slide open. And Osiris, your sword is encased in metal.
Ooh, that's long, boy.
Oops. Unlucky.
Maybe it's just more powerful, right?
Bruh, so I can't take it back?
You can try.
I thought you guys were friends.
You can certainly try.
We're all friends here.
Hmm.
You can try yanking it.
I'm gonna try yanking it.
Okay. Yeah, make a strength check.
Oh, fuck off, I hate you.
Time to see if you're worthy or not.
Oh, that's.
Ooh.
Oh,
That's
What
a
did he
one.
roll?
that's a one.
Oh,
You
that's a
try,
one, but a
and
one.
guys, you can't help but feel kind of bad for Osiris as he's just given up his weapon, and he just can't get it out the clutches of the statue. He's trying, and it feels like immovable object situation. He's sweating, straining.
You know when you see like baby animals, like a little puppy, and you're playing like tug of war with the puppy, and the puppy is like putting its like full force into like trying to. That's what that looks like, and it's really pathetic.
Osiris, I'm sorry. I don't think the sword is coming out of the statue now.
For one of the first times, Osiris is silent. He's not saying anything once he realizes that his sword and his bread is gone.
Do you want my great axe? And he's gonna take his axe off his back and offer it to Osiris.
Ray, how much does this look like it weighs?
Oh, I don't know. D&D great axe weight. What would you say? Various DMs of our group, of which there are many. Does a great axe weigh more than
I believe the
Osiris's
weight is in
sword?
the handbook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will be,
What was Osiris's old weapon? Was it a two-handed greatsword?
Nope, it was a one-hander.
So a great axe
One-handed.
weighs, that's a hand axe. A great axe weighs 7 pounds.
And a one-handed sword weighs 3 pounds.
Yeah, a long sword weighs 3 pounds.
Yeah.
You could give it a try.
Osiris will try and hold it to see whether he can wield it in the first place.
Do you have proficiency?
Nope.
You sure?
Yeah, you feel like probably you might struggle to use this weapon. You
I have
could, but
I have a quarter
I think
staff.
paladins. Sorry, mechanical point. I think paladins do have martial weapon proficiency, so you should be able to swing it around. But it's up to you.
oh yeah, there you
That's cool. He's not proficient.
go.
Oh shit! What?
Yeah, but nerfed.
I mean, okay.
Mercy will hold out a dagger and say, "Or you could have this. I've got 12 others in the bag."
What is my-
He...
Oh, God.
he takes the great axe and like he does a good job of like keeping it up, but like he clearly it's too heavy for him and he just like takes it and it just slams to the ground and he's like, "Thanks, Mercy," and takes the dagger.
According to my inventory, I do have 3 longswords, but I think that was when I was trying to work it out.
You greedy fucker.
No, I don't think I actually do. I'm just looking at it like, no, I don't have those.
Look at me like, I think I might have accidentally added my main weapon 3 times.
Yeah.
But so the west and the east both slide open. The north, however, remains conspicuously shut, and all of you can kind of see that the light kind of seems to trace up north and to the west.
What do
Which
you
one
mean
am I
by
talking about?
trace?
So you've got these kind of like ribbons along the ground that dart along, sort of almost intentionally.
Yeah, there's
Actually, to be honest-
of light.
Hang on, no, they're kind of going in all 3 directions, north, west, east at this point.
Following the light is often good advice, but this makes me nervous.
I think what we seek is at the end of the light.
No, what we seek is riches. We're in a vault. Don't follow light. Follow gold. Follow magic items.
Stay together, or one go east, one go west.
Well, prudence, I think.
Well,
Let's not forget Tomash and the incident with the you know what.
Well,
Well,
it's not
nothing-
like we're in any rush, are we? Like we can go one way, and if not, we come back and go the other way.
Yeah, and absolutely nothing went wrong last time we split the party, so
Mm-hmm.
I vote
I
east
still
first.
go. Yes.
That's my vote.
East, you say east first?
Well, that's my vote. Yeah.
yeah, let's go.
I don't like the idea of splitting up, so we'll be going with you.
And we all go
Okay.
east.
You go east. Okay, you head through into this room and you come out into a smaller kind of chamber. Here, oh god, this reveal tool is so hard. Okay, yeah, you come into the small chamber. In it, lying a large coffin, a tomb, one of those where the like effigy of the person is on top. It's a person holding a large sword of a sunburst, carved into the pommel, into the hilt. And the plaque reads, "Here lies Loris of the Order, and his faithful blade."
Ladies, gentlemen, and Mercy, I give to you a trap. And he just points to the.
And that is where we will end the session.
And a
It being-
placement and a trap.
And yeah, we will pick this up on Wednesday as you will continue your dungeon marauding and item hunting in the Divine Vault.
We found the dungeon. Now we just need to track it. It's all set. It's all done.
Oh yeah, we've ticked one half of the name of the game.
Yeah.
Oh, they said the name of the film.
Yeah, they should make a game about that film. Pretty cool. Yeah.
All right.
All right, cool. Thank you guys for tuning in. I guess sorry about the impromptu Saturday stream, but also not sorry because it meant we got to play more D&D. We'll be back on Wednesday at 7 p.m. UK time. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to love each other. That's what Matt Mercer says, right? I'm
Yeah.
gonna say that too, since I'm here.
Gotta come up with your own slogan.
And don't forget to thirst for fantasy men. I don't know, and women. Thirst for fantasy, everyone. I'll workshop this.
I like that.
Thank you.
See you soon.
What do you say when you need the truth? What do you say when you can't get through? What does it take for the heart to choose? What does it take to survive with you? Oh, need some clarity if you still want me. Cause if you don't, then what do you say? Just give me the truth. Tell me where do we stand? Cause I need to know, yeah. Don't just leave me hanging. Tell me where do we stand? Cause I need to know, yeah. Don't just leave me hanging. Tell me where do we stand? Get me up, hold up, this way, yeah. I'm just gonna be left in the dark, yeah. Get me up, hold up, this way, yeah. I'm just gonna be left in the dark, yeah. What do you say when you question so ever get? And what do you say when you're left alone? Spend months in jail. What does our fate is we let our home? Death don't like this. What does it get that you play so well? Need some clarity and a sense of peace. I'm on this boat, so what do you say? Set me free and go. Tell me where do we stand? Cause I need to know, yeah. Don't just leave me hanging. Tell me where do we stand? Cause I need to know, yeah. Don't just leave me hanging. Tell me where do we stand? Get me up, hold up, this way, yeah. I'm just gonna be left in the dark, yeah. Get me up, hold up, this way, yeah. I'm just gonna be left in the dark, yeah. And I've been left in the gray area. Cause I don't wanna choose you, stop blinking, do you? All I wanna know is where we stand. If you can't give me that, then say so. Always get to real with you, got played now, deal with you. All I wanna know is where we stand. And if you won't give me that, then just go. Leave this wasteland. Get me up, hold up, this way, gray area. I'm just gonna be left in the dark, gray area. Get me up, this way, gray area. I'm just gonna be left in the dark, gray area.
I'm like an animal that's stalking its prey. I'm sneaking closer to the scent of it every day, and I'm still fine though. Even when caught up inside a bind, though, I realign my spine and put my trust inside of mine. Knows I got clothes so I can go toe to toe with all these average Joes, flowing so slow and thinking that their motion matches slow Joe. I turn to beast mode when I duck the lynch, slowly pop up on my goal and I go and I fucking shred it. You can catch me on a bad day. I still remind you all of something my old man would say. You could take a shit hand, a bitch slap from life, and guide some real strife into something that don't look like a sad case. Caught up in the rat race when you just want the rap race, begging for fan face and carve the time to carve your own space. But they say nay, the DJs don't play your life's work on radio. You may say this isn't hip hop. You could say this bitch dropped his bars down a well, and you can smell that shit cause it's rotten. And my reaction would be to not give you traction, flashing middle fingers, forget fashion, fishing out them bars, resume the action. And actually I don't care if I cash in, could take forever for my sound is ever meshing and mashing with what they sincerely wanna hear, what they like in their notes over the windows to keep my recordings echo free. I'm satisfied to be inside, I'm all the time up in my mind. A automatic fire until I'm shooting blanks. I kick the writer's block and it's crotching, don't stop until it's dropping my words and cursing me while I'm yelling thanks. Cause you gotta take back what's yours, and if you never had it, we'll start at your ground floor. Ignore the entire world till you can't be ignored, then go make yourself a ruckus. Say fuck this, I'm kicking down their damn door.